now.
Right meow.
Right meow.
Right now.
Awful minds think alike.
Oh, yes.
Wait, so are
Remember
we
like
live?
a week ago when I told you that there was like a chicken in my backyard that like lived there?
I try not
and
to listen when you
accidentally hit
talk
it
about farm
with
animals.
Now there's 2 chickens living in my backyard and
wow.
also a deer. So I have 4 pets now, not just a dog anymore.
Deer are awesome. I've fed deer out of my hand before, and it's a very cool experience.
It
Hopefully,
is.
we should throw some little dry corn, like pieces of corn out there. He'll come get them.
I will find
Walk
some
up
dried
to
corn, but first I'm going to say, what's up, gamer boy Mashek? Lawrence Hamilton says, Jesus loves you. Adam Keys, what's up? Just Incredible VR.
There's a song there somewhere.
Chrome Blasphemy, the Game Cat Colossus. Wow.
Wow.
I like it.
We need a hashtag GameCat on that, man. We got to give you a
Yes.
shout out on viewer takeover.
Robbie B, the English Game Cat. Johnny Right Off a Stray Cat. Chief the VR Gamer. Hello. Marcusor, clever girl. Joystick Guru, what's up? Stay warm 420. I'm not surprised, motherfuckers. Joystick, I already said you. Noah, Red Beat, Roed Bean.
Road.
Big Fat Frog 1909, Hack the Game Cat, Blue the Game Cat, Woody the Bluebird, Catman Legions.
Nice.
That's a new one. Rusty
I like it.
Spoon. You have a drink Bailey's from a boot. The Kid. What's up, the Kid? Hello, Thar. Core Ricks, the Game Cat, Cloak Creeper Games, Hoxton 786. Mikey says, hey, Game Cat Extraordinaire. Hiya!
Yeah.
We already got our first tip in the house. That's Robbie B, the English game cat. So posh, so dapper. He's got 2 pounds on it, and he says 2 reverse chickens. AJ?
Damn.
Reverse chickens. What's a reverse
That's the
chicken?
ante.
To reverse Whoa, Dave,
If
where have
you-
you been?
hey,
You'll know
if
what a
you
reverse
don't-
chicken is?
Hey, if you don't know, you
Hey.
can't afford it.
If you don't know, then you don't. Well, you will never know. This is PSVR Gamescast Live, where we film live every. Oh God, damn it! It's Friday. So not every Thursday.
Sometimes.
6 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, I felt really bad that we couldn't do it yesterday, but I'm really, really happy that we can do it today. Dave was out of the state. AJ's got some family on the way. So this is sort of like just kind of fitting this in exactly where we could. As always, I've got nothing to do, so I could be here all night, whatever. Right? That's how my life rolls. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here without parole, and to the middle of the screen is AJ from PSVR Underground. Go check out his new reviews. He's doing reviews now, everybody. Go check him out on PSVR Underground. Not only did he have an awesome Golem review, but he shit all over Espire 1. It was amazing.
Excellent.
I
can't
was
wait to
very,
watch those,
I was,
man. Can't
I
wait.
was very respectful. We'll shit on it later tonight. But I
Very
was,
respectful.
that hurt a lot. But it felt good to get that off my chest. That is the current state of Espire 1. Not looking so hot right now. So
Not looking so hot.
thank you, Brian. Brian's actually the one that inspired me and also forced me to start doing reviews. So you can blame him.
I don't know.
But no.
I-
What's up, everybody? What's up, Game Cats?
All I do is just do what I'm told, and then every so often I tell other people what to do. So whatever. And that guy all the way on the far left of your screen, to your left, my also left. I don't know how this works anymore. It's Dave from Dave Station VR.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Welcome back to the state, or your state.
It feels good to be home, man. I always get this boost of energy when I get back to my house after being away for like a week. Like everything in Orlando makes me happy. My cat makes me happy. The place where I buy beer makes me happy. It's very nice. I'm very excited tonight. So this will be a good show, I think. I'm pumped.
I'm pumped too, man. Whenever I go anywhere, by day 3, it doesn't matter. I'm in the biggest paradise of all time. By day 3, I'm ready for my apartment. I'm ready for my bed. I'm ready for more video games. I just hate being away from my place longer than 3 days. That is my cutoff period. Any longer than that, I'm really unhappy.
I haven't
Card
played this
says,
single video game in a week. It's been a week since I played any.
Man, I couldn't go that long. Babe Card says, anyone know a good co-op game? Just Incredible, my dude beat me to the punch, and he says Farpoint, Killing Floor, and Stardust Odysseys. Those are great co-op games. Thank you, Just Incredible, my dude.
Yeah, Bridge Crew.
Bridge Crew as well. There's a lot of games. We might cover some tonight, actually.
We may just cover some tonight on the best and worst list of 2019. But you know what, guys? A little bit of housekeeping. Let's take care of this real quick. Obviously, if you like Without Parole, make sure you hit us up on patreon.com/withoutparole.
Games.
That's right. Because that we are 100% running on your support, whether that be you watching the ads on YouTube or whether that be you supporting us on Patreon. We only ask for $1 a month. Anything more than that is bonus. But even the $1, trust me, is also bonus. And I think that's kind of it. Subscribe to those guys' channels. Subscribe to this channel right here. And let's get into some news because we have a whole lot of stuff to talk about.
Ooh, all right.
In
AJ,
general.
what you got?
We do, but today we're going to be starting with some news. And first up, earlier today, just 2 hours ago, the developers of Headmaster,
Those guys.
Brian's favorite game of all time.
It really is one of my favorites. I don't know why it doesn't.
I know.
Don't know why it doesn't make
It's
this
a good
top
game.
20 list more often.
It's a good game. It's because there's lots of really fierce competition. Is the
right.
only reason it doesn't make.
But maybe
the
this
top
will
20.
change things.
Maybe. I really enjoyed the last update, but Headmaster has said pre-announcement. We have been working on new Headmaster content. More info is coming soon. Sign up for our mailing list to get the very most super latest. So sign up for the mailing list.
What's up
if
with
you're
pre-announcements these days? I mean, just announce something. Like, why
Yeah.
why announce that you're going to announce something? That just seems so redundant.
Gotta build the hype. Gotta build the hype for
Is
the
that working?
hype.
You think that's working for Headmaster? They're like,
I mean, we're talking about it right now.
We are.
We're talking about it.
We are, but there's nothing to talk about.
There's nothing we can do at this time. You're right. Like there's nothing we can do, but at least we know there's something coming. So as long as it doesn't turn up like the other secret announcement that was announced.
We are flying. I love it. All right. What's the next secret announcement?
So the day before Christmas,
And all through the
Stonepunk
house.
Studios,
Sorry.
they teased a new announcement for, of course, they're making Tarzan VR, which has been a little divisive on terms of like who's excited for it. Personally, I'm excited for it. I think it looks pretty cool.
I think Tarzan is one of the hottest franchises of 2019, if you ask me. I think relevant, exciting. Everyone's pumped about it.
It might not be exciting for 2019, but holy motherfucking shit, man. It's going to be amazing in 2020.
There you go. Yeah.
Dude, okay, so you might notice this short clip that's going over and over and over very, very quickly in the video section down there.
That's the announcement.
That was your
Aren't
announcement.
you excited?
They were like, hey, our gift to you this Christmas is a short video clip of our upcoming game, and it doesn't really show. At first it's like mere seconds long, right? The actual gameplay is 2 seconds, maybe.
It doesn't actually get a chance to land, which I think is pretty funny.
Right? Probably because in the actual footage he falls through the floor. He aspired
we'll just have to cut that out.
He aspired the fuck out of that.
I gotta stop you guys real quick. This is. Oh, hold on. Are you done? Okay, he's done. This is for Texotron. Good to see you again, Tex.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been a while. He's the indoor cat. $5 says Merry Holidays, Game Cats. Meow. Thank you so much,
Texotron,
Tex.
meow.
Good to see you again, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is disappointing, right? Because obviously, I thought the last trailer they showed was interesting enough, and then they showed this, and it's just like, what was the point of this? This is the definition of a pre-announcement announcement.
Yes.
Yep.
But actually, no, the pre-announcement announcement was them announcing that they were going to have something on Christmas, and then this was the announcement. This is embarrassing.
I don't really know what I was like, there has to be some Easter egg, something hidden in here. And I really don't understand. The chat seems confused. They don't seem to notice anything either. So yeah, man. I mean, you got to step your game up. I'm very excited for this game, but step your game up, Stonepunk. Come on. Don't give us a tease of a tease. You gave us a bigger trailer a couple months ago.
Yeah, I'm playing the actual one right now. That repeating one was actually giving me a little bit of anxiety. I was watching it going, stop. Like, I've seen it too many times. This is freaking me out. Yeah.
Wait, this is the whole video?
Yeah, it is.
It's just the thing that says, I am Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle. Go.
2 seconds of actual
He doesn't
gameplay.
even
And then boom.
he doesn't even grab a vine or anything.
Nope.
What the fuck? All right.
I don't know.
Lame. Super lame.
Maybe they were like,
Yeah,
well, fuck you and all your comments about the elephant. We're not even going to show you an elephant this time.
All right. So moving on, we also got another announcement. This is some fresh, hot news. Take this, Polish ball.
Steaming pile
This is
of
from
news.
1 hour ago. 1 hour ago, Strange Game Studios posted on Twitter and said, here's the latest look at the upcoming Pro patch. At this point, we've confirmed the PS4 Pro will, like that guy is Will VR, be able to handle the retexturing. So everything we've been showing is fully expected to release soon. So really great news about Honor and Duty I've been really excited about this reskin. This is not like a normal pro patch.
Except if Reggie's watching, sometimes he does. I need to send a direct message, DM him publicly, and say, Reggie, next time you're trying to show off a fucking pro patch, use a capture card and not the share button on your PlayStation VR. This is not how to show off like how good your game looks suddenly. This is how to show off
probably, I mean, he's not a streamer. He probably doesn't have a capture card.
Oh, he's got my phone number, man. Just hit me up. I'll take care of this shit.
All right.
Yeah, but really, it's like because it looks good, but you're looking at it 720p, 30 frames a second. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like you're not showing off quite what this game is capable of. So. But good on them. I'm very happy that Honor and Duty is getting more love, and hopefully everyone keeps picking it up and joining our Discord server. The link's in the description. Make sure you join our Discord so that we can all play Honor and Duty together. I got a comment recently saying, "Oh, no one plays Honor and Duty." Well, fucking notification, guys. No one's playing anything on PlayStation VR except for Firewall multiplayer. So if you want to get a game together for anything, just join our Discord and we can get a game together, nice and easy over there.
Reggie says,
there he is. There he is.
Awesome. He does have an Elgato, but he said it was just a quick vid.
Get off his back, Brian.
If you say Reggie's name 3 times, he shows up in the chat.
He says he'll do a better one once we finish the level. So definitely looking forward to that. Man, I don't know if you've seen like other gameplay footage of this, but man, these, like I said before, for anyone not aware, this is not a typical pro patch. This is like a reskin and all this stuff. So great to hear that. The textures are going to be making it in too, because man, it totally changes the way this game looks like completely.
Nice.
Pretty exciting stuff. So moving on, Push Square released an article that is about a new patent for the PlayStation 5 DualShock 5 controller.
Time to speculate. If it's a patent, you got to speculate.
Just speculation, but there is something interesting about this picture. So basically we talked about, I think last week, that they have this new back button attachment. Yeah. And Dave went all specific about it. We said it's going to be like only $30 and it's going to be pretty cool. But now this is just a patent, so this isn't confirmed, but now the DualShock 5 patent is showing the back buttons actually built in to the controller. So it may be a possible feature that actually comes with it. So
it does make a lot of sense, right? Like if this is something they're kind of tacking onto the PS4 at the absolute last second, then they've got plans for this button.
Well, so what I'm thinking actually now is maybe this means PS4 controllers might be compatible with PS5, because if you plug in that thing in the back, you're equivalent at that point with the amount of buttons you got on a PS5 controller.
The only downside being that the DualShock 5 has not shown any light bar tracking yet.
This patent that I'm looking at right here, the picture has a light bar on it.
Nice.
Thank you, Dave.
I have not seen that. I have not seen the image that we're talking about yet. I'm like searching for it right now online. I can't
just
find
Google
it.
Push Square. It's like one of their first thing that pops up.
Copy. If I post it in the thing in our chat, can you get it? Upload.
I found it.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
But yeah, that's the significance. Is this controller does actually have a light bar? So, people have been asking about what are they going to do with the DualShock 5? What are we going to do? And obviously, if they get rid of the light bar, you could still use DualShock 4s most likely, because they're going to be backwards compatible. But there's a possibility that DualShock 5 will have a light bar as well. I really hated the light bar until
PlayStation
you could dim
VR.
It. Well, yes, that
gotcha.
as well. Plus,
Yeah.
once you were able to dim the light, then it didn't become such a pain in the ass, because it used to freaking die down in like an hour or two, and that is way too short for it.
I can get the image up here right there.
Yeah, the interesting
Reggie,
thing about
we
this
cannot
actually
wait to
is
see
that
steampunk. Sorry, go ahead.
it's not. So I was thinking at first it was just 2 buttons, because I saw those in the picture, but there's actually 4 new buttons on the back, which is interesting. Interesting.
Some on the bottom.
Yeah, I'm curious about how those are gonna where those are gonna sit when you look at the front of it, and how your fingers are gonna touch those. But looks interesting.
It does. It
Could
does.
be the real deal. We'll see.
Yeah, well, if that thing is, those back buttons are super popular, then it makes sense for those to have it. We already know that the other things they've been messing with are the haptic feedback in the joysticks, which they were playing a demo by Sony Japan Studio, creators of our Lord and Savior Astrobot.
Team Asobi.
Yes. And so my whole theory, I'm really interested to see the next gen VR controllers to see if it's the same DualShock that like splits apart or something like that. But yeah, so Brian, you had an announcement of something.
Did I?
Yes.
Well, a couple things, and to varying degrees of interest, I suppose. Discovery is a game that everybody was hoping was going to be our PSVR version of Minecraft. Let's get that new trailer up and running here. Right, there we go. So Nuwanda, the development team over there, which I think, as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I'm aware, is only like one, maybe two people.
One guy.
One dude.
Yeah.
All right. Been talking about this new update for a very, very, very long time. And, I mean, there's 2 videos up right now over on Twitter. So you can go follow Discovery over on Twitter at Nuwanda. And from a very long time ago, the dude was saying that the update's going to include configurable movement speeds, smooth rotation with a vignette optional to avoid motion sickness, third-person view, new materials, new game mode to be announced, split screen for local multiplayer that can be combined with online, and finally move support. That was announced like a year ago, and then we were finally getting these videos over the last couple of days that are showing some significant updates. The game's looking radically different. Now, this is all good, right, for the most part. The big downside to this is that Nuwanda was saying that they were going to include a survival mode to make it even more like Minecraft. But apparently, the word is right now is that, and I had no idea you couldn't change your ESRB rating with an update, but a survival mode would actually include some kind of combat and would actually include some kind of survival skills. And that would take it from an everybody to possibly, a different everybody or a teen or something. And apparently you can't do that. So that's the word right now, is that we're not getting a survival mode in Discovery as promised, which is a real letdown because creative mode is fun to mess around with for a while, but eventually you want to play a game.
I don't know if that's true, because Minecraft, I think, is E for everybody, and they have a combat mode. They've always had a combat mode. Like,
this is just
that doesn't jive with me to say, oh, we can't get it through because unless they're like stabbing people in the face and tearing heads off and shit, like, which I don't foresee in a Minecraft style game. But
am I losing my shit, or is there are there different versions of E for everybody? Is there like one that say like E10, like their numbers like with the letter, or is it?
I'm not aware of that.
I don't know.
There could be. I'm not
Nobody
sure.
really pays attention to that anyways.
Doesn't everyone just mean everyone?
There was like a year where everyone's like, oh, you got to look at the rating. And then like, I don't know. And then everyone forgot again. EAE says, I'm watching you guys on the brand new 75-inch TV because I love you that much.
Wow.
We love you too.
Fancy.
How does my skin look? I've been using
get closer.
Right. I don't want to get closer now. I'm sure there's all sorts of things that I don't want shown on a huge television. But so that was Discovery. I know a lot of people don't really care about it. We want like an actual Minecraft game, and this one seems to get closer by the year. But man, this one person dev team is certainly taking their time. The other bigger, more interesting announcement that we had was that Elysium, the massively multiplayer online game that didn't reach its Kickstarter goal a while back, is now definitely still in development. Like they're talking about it. They're saying that just because we didn't meet our Kickstarter goal, if you head on over to their website, which is elysium.today, you can support them through PayPal. Today. This week. You can support them through PayPal, or you can join their Patreon. Make sure you support us on Patreon first, but then you can think about going over there. And the game is very much still in development. They sent me an email this week saying, don't worry, it's still happening. And hopefully it's, we have no idea how far out it is, but this is something that a lot of people were interested in. And I want to let everybody know that it is still happening to some degree or another. It looks impressive.
Cool. Yeah, I remember just lots of possibilities. It looks like they're going to want to get that out before Dreams gets VR support, though. The chat, Albert, Cloaked Reaper, a bunch of them have got us covered. There's C through A, E4 plus, E10 plus.
So that
and
could
then, of
very
course,
much
there's
that could be a
teen,
discrepancy there.
Yeah,
mature. Yeah. Yeah. So are we ready to move on, Brian?
Oh, by all means,
shall we?
we shall.
In other news, there was a couple months, I think maybe a month ago, I had released some numbers for the sales. And Brian, I just posted this in our private chat. But
Ooh, it looks good.
But they're
Put this
basically
up in the stream. Let people see this thing.
What's up, secrets of
Yeah, I can't.
guys on fist bump to you.
Unfortunately, I'm not able to do that. Sorry, guys.
Oh no. What if I send you a link?
You can send me a link through email.
Okay. But essentially, I gave you guys some sales figures a couple months back, and I actually said at the time 4.2 million, and that was actually from like early in the year. So there was a post on Reddit. I would love to get credit to the Redditor that did that, but unfortunately, I lost it. But going by Statista, it's basically a website that monitors different physical units and stuff sold. This is an update of PSVR sales as well as other VR headsets as of September 5th, 2019. And Brian, I just sent you the link.
Got it. Give me 2 seconds.
But essentially, the growth of PSVR has continued. The number is now at about, and this is as of September. Imagining there's a bunch new headsets that were sold. 5.9 million as of September 2019 is the number we are at with headsets. Now, this being Christmas, if you go to Twitter, if you go to Reddit, everything. I can't even read Reddit right now because I just got a PSVR. What games do you recommend? I've joined the family, blah, blah, blah. And of course, welcome to everybody who's posting on Reddit and stuff that you just got a PSVR. We are very happy for you, and we would like to extend a warm welcome to you. But 5.9, so definitely going to be breaching. We're definitely already past the 6 million mark for headsets sold. Just to compare, Oculus, all of Oculus devices are at
a little under 3. It looks like.
You're right.
Or wait, no, that's sorry. I was looking at the wrong thing. That's others.
Right. They're actually they're like at 3, a little bit over. But the thing is, that's actually really good for them because they basically cut our lead in half. It was 5 million before, 5 million PSVRs to like 1 million, 1,400, something like that, total Oculus headsets. Now they're at 3 million and we're at 6. So they actually did. So the whole reason I'm bringing this up, guys, is because it's really awesome to see that VR is still growing. VR is still growing as a whole, not just PSVR, but 6 million units. But yeah, really, really awesome that to see that, everything's still growing. And PS5's coming out. We've got Iron Man coming out. I'm sure that's going to sell some headsets and lots of stuff to look forward to. Yeah,
I feel like we've been saying 4 million for quite a while now. So I think we're all just kind of patiently waiting for Sony's next big announcement to say, hey, we've reached another milestone. We've sold a couple more million. But right. I'm sure it seems like they just maybe are waiting out the holiday season if they're seeing a huge spike in sales so that they can say, we're at 7 million, and say, well, we're almost double the last time we talked to you guys about this. So
I can't wait till they hit 10 because that's a nice, exciting round number.
Yeah.
You can say, we've sold 10
double
million
digits.
Of these things. Get in here. Let's make it 20,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely be a lot more attractive to developers once it hits the 10 million number, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and the great thing is too, the headset's going to be backwards compatible. So we know most likely, unless something changed from what they were saying, we're probably not getting PSVR 2 at launch of PS5. So most likely a year, no more than 2 later down the line. But this being backwards compatible is going to help a lot. So tons of games to look forward to until then. really excited actually about quarter one and quarter two of 2020. After quarter two, I don't really know. I don't even know what's going to happen because we're going to be really gearing up for PS5. But quarter one, quarter two, 2020, there's going to be some kick-ass games coming out.
Yeah, I was showing off those that website, and unfortunately, I don't think the key was actually on the screen that I was showing. So you just saw a bunch of bars that were absolutely meaningless. Sorry, Rob. Like, okay, sorry about that.
Well, anyways, yeah, 2.2 PSVR sold 2.2 million this year before Christmas as of September. Last year they sold 2 million. The year in 2017 it was 1.7 million. So
Christmas is going to bump those up like a lot.
Oh,
'Cause I've
yeah.
seen so many people saying they just got their VR.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's at least probably a few 100,000. I would not be surprised.
Yep. All right. So, as far as I know, there's only one more update to that's coming out before we get to our best and worst of 2019, and that is Dave Station's favorite game of all time,
Ooh, what is it?
Five Nights
don't
at
you
Freddy's
know?
VR.
Oh, fuck you.
Fuck you. Five Nights at Freddy's VR got a holiday update where no new games or content. You know, they saved Halloween for me personally. And
Wait, what was wrong with Halloween before they swept in and
Halloween
were
sucked
you having
ass.
you're having the worst Halloween ever? And
There
then-
was no horror games for Halloween.
for games.
For games, yeah. There was nothing. It was literally, I think maybe Witching Tower was early October.
Witching Tower was way before that.
No, yeah, that was before that. We never got Contagion during that time, so Five Nights at Freddy's
we did
literally
get
saved Halloween for me.
But we did get Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion was the fucking shit.
Yeah.
Brian's
and
best
I
game
did.
of 2019.
I mean, it's on my list. I can't believe it didn't make the top 20 list. Fuck pinball.
Brian.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I should have.
me.
We totally should have had that.
Indeed.
But and Immortal Legacy. But anyways, this is a new update. Just real quick, it only has some new decorations in the thing. But if you go through the pizza party level, there is a back door that you can go out of, and it's snowing everywhere. And there's a big billboard that says "Coming Soon," and a big in the background is a mall being built. So this is supposed to be hinting towards a new 2020 Five Nights game that takes place in a mall, and it's got some like crazy 80s thing going on. So I don't know if that's like a Stranger Things kind of reference. It sounds like, but yeah, big 80s update for.
So let's talk about how we want this implemented, man. Because one of the things, obviously we got Five Nights at Freddy's VR, which was $30, and then we got the Curse of the Dreadbear, which was $10, and now we're gonna have another $10 piece of DLC. I'm like, no offense to anyone over there at Steel Wool, or whatever Scott's company is. But holy crap, man, this game's getting fucking real expensive if you want all the DLC. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm sure they'll put out like an ultimate edition at some point too, with all the DLC included or something like that.
They already did a bundle for $35 instead of $40.
probably
with
have a
the
new
Dreadbear DLC. Yeah,
Right.
probably
So-
like a $40 bundle.
There's a part of me
Yeah.
that wants to say that wants to reward people. I mean, I think Dreadbear was definitely worth $10, but there's a part of me that wants to reward people for purchasing the DLC and making that DLC even more attractive. But I mean, if they're selling tons and tons of DLC, then I guess it's hard to blame them.
They are selling AAA quality flat screen game numbers, like practically.
Right. Right. So
they are crushing it. Maybe not that much, but they're selling a lot.
Right, so
For
it's hard to be like, well, man, maybe we should get this for free if they're just like raking in the cash. But it's a great game, and I'm glad they're still supporting it. There are plenty of games that I would pay for more. I mean, we just talked about some viewer takeover with Will, but there are plenty of games that I wish had the model that these guys are using with just the constant updates and DLC that I would happily pay for.
As the conscientious objector here, I will say I will never buy any Five Nights at Freddy's DLC as long as I live.
Okay.
Not even to stream it. Not even to. I'll let you guys talk about it on the Gamescast because that's
Fair
not where I'm putting my money.
All good, man.
Heard.
But yeah, and that basically wraps it up. Real quick, I don't care. Like I said, that as long as it has enough content, and it's good, like I'll be happy with it. I don't care paying little extra. But why is everyone saying AI? What's
I.
what is
I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
what's going on with the AI in the chat? Anyways,
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really pay attention when people talk. So that's definitely a downfall with all these. Yeah, no idea.
it says Bobsty says everyone who's gonna buy the PS5 on launch says I.
Oh,
Okay.
And then
I'll
it
put
went
an
crazy.
I in there.
Bobsty, what have you done? You
Right.
created chaos.
He infiltrated the chat. I guess I'll go along with this.
Yes.
All right.
All right. So 2019, man. Time to review the best and the worst. It's been an up and down year for sure.
Can I preface this whole conversation real quick?
No.
Well, then I guess I won't then.
Well, we'll split the difference. AJ said yes, so go ahead.
So I will half preface this conversation by saying it's easy to focus on the bad shit that comes along for PlayStation VR and go, we shouldn't get this. This doesn't represent the platform very well. Go ahead, Dave. Let's do this.
All right.
Get the fuck out of here! Fuck you!
I don't mean that, Hugh Guyver. I really don't. That's $10 from some country. Australia? I don't know. Australia. Hope the PSVR without Parole crew and all the Game Cats are having an awesome Xmas/New Year's and festive season. Meow. And
Hell
he's got
yeah, Hugh
a
Guyver.
beer glass there.
Thank you
Oh,
very
Cheers.
much for the donation.
Say hello to your cousin Mac for us, please.
Cousin McGyver. Because that's how relatives work. Okay, so what I was saying was that it's really easy to kind of get down on PlayStation VR and go, oh man, I was like, not a whole lot of AAA big budget games happening this year. But man, as I started going through the list on the PlayStation Network and seeing what actually came out this year, man, we were incredibly blessed with just like tons and tons of amazing, unique games that, I mean, were really, even if I was including non-VR games, were really like the highlight of my year. There's so many great games that came out this year. So, I mean, hopefully next year hopefully 2020 will bring a few more AAA big budget games. But I was really, really happy with 2019 overall, I've got to say.
We didn't get
Yeah,
as
me
many
too, man.
really big marketed AAA titles like we did last year at the end of last year, but I feel like we did get more like consistent titles this year. Every single week, even if they were good or bad, we had about like 3 or 4 games, it seemed, and it was just relentless. So,
and on top of it all, man, like with games that came out before 2019, especially Beat Saber and Firewall, those games got constantly supported all year long. And so there was always Gran Turismo. There was always an excuse to go back and play those games more, which is great.
Right. Updates make the world go round. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. All right, so before we kick off the best or worst, I want to throw out 2 guilty pleasures, and so these are probably going to make most people's worst list, but they're games that I had a shocking amount of fun with, despite the fact that they were not very good games. And the first one, which apparently I don't have a trailer up and ready for, is Deadland. Deadland was the endless runner that was $5. It's not good. It's actually half broken. Sometimes the game just stops working and you have to reset. But it's the only real endless runner we have, excluding Run Dorothy Run. I don't think that really counts.
That's not true. Isn't there one in Herocade? What's that one? No, not Dreadhalls. It's not an endless runner. It's like an endless flyer,
one, right?
but it's an endless runner essentially. Yeah.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But this one is fun. I will say it's fun, even though it's not a very good game. But for $5, I was like, okay, whatever. I played it for 6 hours, unlocked all the weapons, and then of course the other one that I had a ton of fun with that maybe I shouldn't have was Mars Alive, right?
Oh God,
we got a ton of Mars games this year and last year and the year before, and this one is a game where nothing happens, but I was on the edge of my seat for 15 hours. Waiting for something to happen. And this game could have saved itself by having one major crazy event to reward me for all those hours anticipating something big. But it didn't. And so I was having fun anticipating the moment that never happened. And so ultimately it's a crappy game, but I was on the edge of my seat waiting for it. So I'm somewhere weird in the middle. If I knew that nothing was going to happen, I'm saving you guys from having to play it, that I would have been disappointed, way more disappointed. But they always made it seem like something was about to happen. I don't know.
Polyrunner. is the one you're thinking of.
That's it.
Well, also people are
From
saying
Hero-Cade.
Race the Sun also
No,
is
it's
another
not.
one.
Race to Sun definitely got a
Those
VR
are both-
patch.
Those are both. Yeah, those are both endless runners.
Yep.
Right, just not in Hero-Cade.
Oh no, for sure. Yeah, I just saw people in the chat saying also.
But it's the only one where you're actually running as a person.
That's true.
Guy Son, fist bump to you, says, I bought Deadland on sale because of Brian.
Oh,
so you owe Guy
sorry.
Son
How much was it on sale? It's like
Wait,
$5 regular price. It's like
it's like
60 cents
$3.74 or something. I remember it being on sale for like $3.74. Gyson, I need a follow up. I need a follow up comment from Gyson saying if he enjoyed it for the sale price. He didn't say if it was good or bad. All right. My guilty pleasures are out of the way. Let's get this fucking list on the.
All right.
Going.
I got to start with January. January had a good games.
Oh, month by month.
Yeah, I don't
Let's
have.
do it.
I don't have this.
I don't have my month by month. I barely.
I'm just going to do the best I can.
All right, what do you
But
got?
I'm just going to start with January. January had Fisherman's Tale. This isn't, by the way, like what I picked as one of my favorites of 2019 or best of 2019. But I thought Fisherman's Tale was actually a pretty decent puzzle game. I think it kind of fell apart towards the end. But it had a really charming, like Disney movie, Pixar movie, storytelling kind of deal.
The narration helped with that.
Yeah.
Right. Really, really charming game and really cool concepts, good puzzles. Like I said, just kind of falls apart towards the end, but it was really cool to be in that world for a while. You guys like that one?
It was pretty good. I mean, it was short but sweet. I liked, like you said, the concept of the way they set the puzzles up, where you're looking down at yourself or up at yourself as a smaller or bigger version of yourself and interacting with stuff. That lets you do some really awesome things in VR. And there were a few wow moments for sure. And I loved like that fish whose mouth you hopped in and all this stuff. It was fun. It's delightful, I would say.
I enjoyed
Definitely.
it. I enjoyed it, but man, I saw people. I think what got me is I saw people raving about it like it was the second coming, and like, oh, this is the best thing on VR. This is the best game we have on PlayStation VR. It's the best puzzle game I've ever played. And I was like, oh, did you find something that I didn't find in this game? Because it's really good, I think, but it's incredibly short. It was like an hour long or something. I don't know, and I do think that the last few puzzles were not very well executed, and they sort of leave a bad taste in your mouth. So
yeah, people in the chat are saying the same thing too. Kev just said last puzzle was so bad.
Yeah,
with the collision detection.
Yep. So it's good if you find it on sale for like $6 or $7. Give it a whirl, man. But like I definitely don't think that it's a $15 game, which I think is what it.
Bikepacking Chronicles with Nature Boy says top 10 PSVR games to smoke.
Oh, I can give you those right now. It's Polybius.
Res Infinite.
Res Infinite, Tetris Effect.
Vertigo Home.
Respect.
Not, oh my God, Vertigo Home. Yeah, you're right. But okay.
I think Vertigo Home's like if you find some LSD laying around, and then like good fucking luck.
Yeah.
I don't know. Void Cat, where you at? Help a brother out.
No.
But
Void Cat can sit this one out.
But anyways, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do all that.
Just before you continue, what are we doing here? Are we just rambling off different games and then deciding?
We're changing this whole thing to the top 10 PSVR games to smoke weed.
I wanted to start
the show. That's the run of show now.
I wanted to start with just January in general.
Okay, it's gonna be it.
The order of. We also got what I consider. I don't know if I want to even say this, but Mage's Tale. Mage's Tale came out, and I think it's kind of more towards. I don't really want to call it the worst. I don't think it deserves to be called.
Oh, it's not the worst by any means.
No, it's because it's not. It's
in the comments on the top 20 being like, "Where's Mage's Tale?"
Yeah,
and it's like it's not supposed to be there, but it's not bad. I thought it was okay. I actually liked it more than either of you guys did. I think liked it more than the Wizards. Honestly,
I think in retrospect, I liked it more than the Wizards. I think in retrospect, I like it more than. I think in retrospect, I like it more than I let on. But man, it is just so tedious. It is a dungeon crawler in every sense of the word. It is so tiring after a while, and then some of the puzzles are just dumb, man. It's like, and I've gone through big chunks of that game where I encountered a puzzle, didn't know how to solve it, spent hours trying to solve it, and said, fuck it, I'm gonna like look online and see how they solved it. Went to a walkthrough with a dude who was like, showing how you beat all the puzzles, and he goes, "This is how you beat this one. I don't know why the answer is this." But here, so I'm like, oh crap! I'm like not alone. People have actually like figured out how to play this game. Still don't know the reasoning behind some of the puzzles. Like it's that convoluted sometimes, and it's just every time the game gets interesting, they find a way to make it dull and not interesting all over again.
Yeah, I'll say I didn't finish it, and I might like it less if I had finished it, because it sounds like a lot of that stuff comes in the second half or the last third. So, what I played was good, but
I finished it, and I think it starts strong. There's like maybe one or two good points in the middle, and it's like, and then ultimately you're like, boy, I just spent a lot of time doing something I didn't like doing.
Would you recommend Crystal Rift over Mage's Tale? What do you think?
No.
I mean, wildly different games, but no.
You said Dungeon Crawler. They're both Dungeon
No,
Crawlers.
because I did like the features and graphics and all this stuff more than Crystal Rift for Mage's Tale. So
yeah,
looks like most people, besides it getting a little tedious, like my dude Triangulator says. Also, what's up, Stephen Carwell? Yeah, but besides being a little tedious, seems like mostly positive there from the cats. The great
Rhodey,
cats have spoken.
I got to stop you real quick. Rhodey the Game Cat says he played Vertigo Home on acid, but it was just okay. Not that great.
I love you, Rhodey, so much.
Rhodey's so good.
Some brave cats. The stories I
Is
hear
that your
about
actual cat, Steve?
That's my cat. He wants to go outside. Hold on 1 second.
Sure. I was like, man, somebody's making a real convincing cat sound out there. I was like, oh wait, it's just the three of us.
All right, I'm pulling up the PS Store list, but now I've got my official first game of 2019 to really blow me away. Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown. And I know it's a limited 3 missions. I replayed these missions for 10 hours total, or maybe it was 8. And using the HOTUS, which for anyone who doesn't know, the HOTUS is flight stick. This is a HOTUS for anyone not aware.
Hands on throttle and stick for anyone questioning.
Yes.
The number of times I heard people say, "What's a HOTUS?" HOTUS. What's a HOTUS? I'm like, well, you could have Googled it and like you got an answer like that, but instead they were like, "What's a HOTUS?" in the comments. What's a HOTUS in the comments? All right, fine, we'll answer you.
You need to play Ace Combat 7 with this thing some point in your lifetime.
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. Everybody should try that. That's so good.
That was the first game to make me go, holy shit, in 2019. And it's really a shame. I do hope to see like more VR with them, with that game. But man, that as an experience, as a game, not a full length game, but as just like, I guess it's more of an experience because it's so limited, but god damn, it was good, man. Absolutely amazing. Everybody needs to try it at some point or another.
Yep.
Or else like you're missing one of the greatest like reasons of having VR.
Yeah, grab it on sale so you don't feel like you got screwed, because the non-VR game is a full-fledged game, but obviously the VR stuff, I mean, you can wait for a sale. It's been on sale plenty of times. But it's great. It's amazing. Probably one of the best things I've ever seen in VR, to be honest with you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like if you have a HOTUS already and it goes down to, I think I've seen it like $30.
Yeah.
It's worth it. Honestly, it's such a cool experience. If you can get it for $20 or $30, it's so much fun.
Yeah, if you get motion sick easy, it might be a little rough. I think I remember Rhodey saying his son got a little sick from it. But for me, it was just like, I don't know. It was just a match made in heaven. Honestly, I'll be completely honest with you. If that Ace Combat 7 was a full game, it probably would be my favorite PSVR game of all time. If it was a full game.
It's so good. Yeah.
It's that good. It would be my favorite PSVR game of all time.
Probably mine too. Maybe.
Yeah.
Nah, Resident Evil 7 is never
certainly up there.
Never going to get me.
It'd definitely be on the top 20. Pretty high.
Yeah, we did give it a shout out, I believe, on for an honorable mention though. So at least there's that. All right, what do we got next for?
All right, so that pretty much wrapped up January. It was pretty dry to begin with, and then we got Tale, then we got Fisherman's Tale, a lot of Tales at first, and then we got Ace Combat 7, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be good. So talk about worst of VR. In beginning of February, to start off February, we got this game called Rage Room.
So bad.
I will let you guys take it's we saw the trailer and it looked like, okay, this could be silly fun if you're just bashing crash test dummies with different weapons.
And this trailer
But this
isn't
wasn't-
even right, man. Like, this trailer isn't even representative of just how, like, this game looks even more dull than it looks in the trailer. Like, there's everything... There's no real reflections on anything. Everything is very, very... I mean, obviously, it's got gray backgrounds, but it's also reflecting light off the walls and stuff. There's none of that in the actual game.
I mean, that wouldn't have made the game any better.
No.
The game is
but
just straight fucking terrible.
Right, but
like,
and this is
no one
actually
ever-
showing, like, decent
Listen to
collision
this.
detection. And
Don't
and there's
buy
none of that either.
It's so fucking bad. I don't know what to say, man.
And it launched at
You
$30.
need to go-
It launched at $30.
Yeah, it was $30.
And it's never been on sale since. Never. This is fucking pure trash that I think they knew was pure trash, and was like, yeah, we're just gonna charge you up the ass for this and hope that somebody buys it. Never once been on
So-
sale.
Kevgret says, hot take, Gorn is just a better version of Rage Room. Sorry.
Probably.
Change my mind. I
Yeah.
can't change your mind because it's just a much better version of Rage Room from what I've seen.
Right.
Like, it looks actually fun and delightful and colorful and cool and well done.
Right. I think
Rage Room is just fucking...
Yeah.
it's bad. It's very basic. It has a lot of bugs. It doesn't work well at all. There's horrible physics, awful physics, lots of teleporting around. So yeah, shit game. But the good news is the very next day we got another one of Brian's favorites, Crisis Brigade.
Oh, yeah. I like that
Wow.
one.
So Crisis Brigade. The very first time we saw Crisis Brigade on PSVR was in February.
Yes,
This
February 5th.
year.
That's awesome. I don't know why
Yes.
I thought that was a.
I gotta say though, it wasn't that awesome for me at first because when this game came out, it was one level and it was hard as balls, like to the point to where it wasn't really that fun.
Stupid fucking hard.
I-
But
Still
talk
enjoyed
about
it.
updates within the same year. They've released 2 updates for Crisis Brigade, and it's actually like one of my top 20 games for 2019. The update that added the bay, the docking bay or whatever, and then
Port Ambush.
and then of course Port Ambush. Thank you.
Yep.
And then of course the one where it's like the Matrix
Ransom mission.
Ransom mission. Both of these. Thank you, Brian. Did it have aim support originally? It always did, right?
It
It
did have
didn't always have aim support. Did it?
It did have aim
launch?
support at launch.
It did.
I take it back.
It's just it wasn't
Yes.
talked about. No one even knew it had it. And then I remember right before I did my review, I said, I'm gonna give this a shot and just check it out. And I was like, oh my god, like it just popped up. I was like, oh, look at what I got with the yeah. I was so excited.
This is a pretty cool game. Robbie B asks, is it any good with the aim? I love it with the aim. I think Brian likes it with the move controllers.
I do.
I love it with the aim controller.
I just love.
It's a much different experience because you got that manual reload you got to do, which is kind of fun and adds some more challenge to it.
Right.
The aim is a little easier to use, I think. So if you're having trouble, probably the aim is going to be good. But it's a little more tactile when you play with the moves.
The reload time takes too long for me. If you're good at reloading, you can cut that reload time like in half when you have 2 move controllers. And also, I love the element of you can take one hand and put it right next to your other one to steady the gun. And so that works for me very, very well. And I think I might be in the minority here, but I think that when the game launched, it was difficult as hell. But I was so insistent on beating it that it didn't even bother me how many times I died and had to restart, that I was enjoying the difficulty. We hadn't had anything like that in a while.
Yeah, this is the closest thing to Time Crisis. The other good thing is it's also going to be getting multiplayer support. I talked about that last week or a couple
insane.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then Crisis Brigade 2. You're going to want to get warmed up on this game because Crisis Brigade 2 is going to be coming out as well, and it has a total reskin. And yeah, we'll be looking pretty darn good. But also another game that came out is one of my like top of the food chain ones is Zing, The Land Beyond, which I first saw this game. I think it was on PSVR Theater or something. It was on the old Midnight Gamescast. And I remember seeing this and being like, nah, it looks okay. I had no interest in this game until I played it. And I was like, holy shit. It's basically a tropical paradise with some amazing mind-melting puzzles, beautiful graphics on the Pro, and then has like Donkey Kong Country music.
There's nothing wrong with Donkey Kong Country music. It's actually
Everything
some of
good.
the best music that's ever been created. That underwater level
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love that. Fucking
One of my favorite things about Zing, other than like the ridiculously low price for such a full-fledged, seemingly AAA game that came from a studio of 3 people that took 6 years to make it. Other than all that, my favorite thing is part of the puzzle-solving element is having to change the time of day. And you go stand on these
Right.
platforms that like make the sun set and the moon rise, or vice versa, and seeing that happen in real time with all the shadows moving very quickly and the night and just like the lighting effects and the just how different the world looks at night. It just happens in real time so elegantly, and
Yes.
I just love that feeling. It never got old for me. This was great, man. This was absolutely
Real quick
great.
too, Henry X says, so should I wait for Crisis Brigade 2? No, Crisis Brigade is $8.99 with 2 DLCs added, and it's going to be getting multiplayer.
Right.
So go ahead and get it. But yes, sorry.
I feel like Crisis Brigade 2 is going to be a wildly different game. I don't know if they're going to. I'm not sure what they're going to.
3-player
what
co-op.
their plans
Damn
are.
it. 3-player co-op. Thank you, Justin.
Is that what's
He keeps
happening
telling me that.
with the current
Crisis
version
Brigade.
on PSVR? Is it 3-player co-op?
Yeah, I think it's going to be 3-player co-op. And he keeps telling me that, and I keep forgetting.
That's amazing.
But anyways, back to Zing. Gorgeous game. I mean, I still have one level, which I will do a live stream of at some point. I still have one level left after getting the platinum to do, and it's like some super secret puzzle that's like epic at the very end. God,
Nice.
I love this game so much. I think majority of people do. I think it's really underrated, actually.
No, 100% agree. I really hope it sold well. It's one of those games that was available in VR, non-VR. So hopefully being available on PS4 proper helps sell a few extra copies, because White Lotus Interactive, I mean, I don't know what they're doing next, but I hope it's something, and I hope it's something soon, because I can't wait to see what that team can do.
Yeah. Dave, did you played Zing, right? Yeah.
Oh,
I think so.
absolutely. I love
Okay.
that game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I remember you. I remember you were one of the. Yeah, you had like first review out for it. And you were. I remember you being one of the first people I heard that said you were like, "Holy shit, this game's amazing."
Oh yeah, I loved it.
But yeah, Zing is amazing. After that, we got. Excuse me. After that, we got Eden Tomorrow, which is basically a sci-fi game that you just walk to the end of, and that's it.
Let's not talk about it. I don't
Yeah.
want to talk.
Intruders Hide and Seek, which Brian has.
just a heads up. I don't think Eden Tomorrow makes it on the worst list.
No,
but it's just
no.
not. It's just not any fun. So
It's
Most
not the-
mediocre game of 2019.
yeah,
Yes.
it falls
What's-
right
what's
in
up,
there
Chaos?
for sure.
What
were you going
we got Intruders, which was okay. Dick Wild 2,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is actually a pretty polished game.
Pretty good. Not one of the
we got-
best, but decent.
Thank goodness
got
they kept patching that one over and over until it was finally decent, because that thing was half broken at launch.
Yeah, Chroma Gun VR, which is way too easy.
Very
Cool
easy.
concept. But then we got another special game in Honor and Duty D-Day, which we just talked about on the news earlier. It's going to be getting a pro patch with new textures. First game that was 5 versus 5 multiplayer shooter in PSVR. And then this was the first 32-person multiplayer. And my God, that first day on launch was nuts. When you get 32 people in there, it is absolute chaos. And really just got to give props to them for really raising the bar when it comes to, there's all these, how many developers did we hear at that time say, oh, multiplayer is hard. Then you have one guy making 32 multiplayer by himself. I mean, got to give Strange Game Studios some props.
Well, yeah, and all the control options too are insane. Like this game has more control options than I think any other PSVR game, like by a mile. You can play with an aim and a move
I
controller.
think touring carts
You
might
can-
have it over Honor and
Okay.
Duty, but that might be the only exception.
They're close.
Yeah.
They're pretty close.
Elbert asked real quick, how long did it take you to get the Beat Saber plat? I think it was 40 hours, 35 hours, 40 hours. Something like
nothing.
that. 30, I think 35
One full
hours.
week of work.
Yes.
Right.
9 to
Something
5
like
every
that.
day.
Getting paid nothing.
But yeah, Honor and Duty, totally awesome game. I actually really like the stealth missions and stuff that came out too recently. I know they needed a little tweaking at first.
A little tweaking, but yeah, those are fun.
Yeah, I like the single player content. I've been wanting that forever. Then we got, let's see, was the Kingdom Hearts VR experience? I guess that came out.
Yeah, it's not worth talking about. It's some free thing
no.
that has nothing in it. You just look
No.
at movies and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, all right, that's it.
Summer Funland came out, which I wouldn't say is the worst, but is not that great either.
Very mediocre.
Middle of the road.
Yeah, very mediocre. Vertigo Home, which I actually like. It's like I did the first. That was my first Without Parole review. Was Vertigo Home.
And we should have cut you off right there.
This is why Brian sent you back to your own channel.
Shout out to Trucker VR. Those are my dudes out there. We got the Wizards, which was, what month are we? Are we still in? Okay, now we're in March. And then we got the Wizards, which I really got to say, I did like the moving your hands around to like form and like shape like magic spells and stuff. I actually like that, but the game itself was just a wave shooter.
I mean, the AI was so dumb.
Right.
They just walked towards you, and like the first boss fight I went through, I was like, is that really what you call a fucking boss fight?
Right.
That was so boring. Not worth my time.
Yeah.
Like, you can have fun with waving your hands around, but there's better games to wave your hands around in.
Yeah.
Ryan from the VR Grid says, Vertigo Home, AJ, you're drunk. No, not yet. I'll get there later.
Yeah. Wizards is one of those games where I feel like they started off making one game and they kept adding to it and adding to it and adding to it, and then ultimately they ended up with a game that was really confused, right? It feels like a wave shooter that they tried to add on story to and make it give it more depth, but ultimately there was not enough story and not enough depth to make it feel like more than a wave shooter, so it slowed down the whole wave shooter element to the point where I was like, well, this isn't a fun wave shooter. And there's not enough of the other stuff to make it a fun narrative-driven game. Whereas, like, okay, we're stuck somewhere in the middle, and this just isn't really that much fun. If you can get it on sale for like $10 and experience what we're talking about, there's some fun to be had here, but it's certainly not.
It's not that bad.
Special.
It was good while it was on sale. Then we got Arc Slinger, which was just like a little Western cheap disposable shooter, not very good.
It's a port from mobile VR. It was on like Go or something.
Cave Digger Riches, which Brian
I do love
kind of
Cave
likes.
Digger.
Yeah.
Really? I think Ryan VR Grid liked that too, or he played it a bunch. I don't know if he likes it or not.
It was a $10 game, right? And it just had this really addictive gameplay loop where you keep going down this mine shaft and like, bashing the walls and drilling for oil and doing all these different things. And it had so many hidden things in it that it just reminded me of like something like an old school NES game or something, where it's just I kept discovering secret after secret after secret. And then for free, they gave us the expansion pack, which lets you not only not go down the mine shaft, but walk out into the world, which was like, oh crap, there's stuff out here. You can get onto a train and go into the caves. And it's like, what are you doing, guys? Like this is, whereas everybody else is charging for DLC, these guys were just like, oh, it's only a $10 game. And we're giving you like basically a second game completely for free, which is kind of cool.
Techno Gatsby, the game cat, meow, says, isn't part of the problem that Skyrim has sort of mastered the whole magic experience? Everything else feels lacking after playing Skyrim. In terms of content and stuff, yes. But in terms of gameplay, Wizards actually nailed what they were trying to do in terms of gameplay, game mechanics, combat. It was pretty good. It just had bad AI and was just kind of more of a wave shooter. But still excited to see...
I don't think the problem is that Skyrim nailed it, because Skyrim did nail it. It's just that all these other games just aren't. There are games. There are inherent problems within each game that kind of takes that Skyrim formula, and none of them really are. None of these games are claiming to be like a full-fledged RPG or anything like that. We just had Sacrilith. We did have the Wizards. There were tons of games that are all. You could look at it and say, oh, this is just a smaller version of Skyrim, but they're all trying to do different things. So we try not to shit on games just because they're not full Skyrim games.
Right.
Yeah.
Catman Legion says, yes, Cave Digger. Dead Ash Pool Game Cat says, Brian wishes Cave Digger ended up being Spelunky.
That is also true. I'm a big fan of Spelunky. Spelunky's one of my top 5 favorite games of all time, probably, right there with the original RE2.
The thing I was thinking about that I wish Cave Digger was SteamWorld Dig 2.
Oh, so
you
good.
You guys play SteamWorld Dig 2? I fucking love that.
I actually
game.
like the first one better, if you can believe it.
Really? I went back and played it, and after the upgrades that you get in the second one compared to the first, I was like, I can't really go back, but
everyone is very satisfied that you change back to your floral shirt.
I take requests.
So after that,
Robbie tipped us, so I was like, hey, he tipped. I'll change my shirt.
After Cave Digger, we got Space Junkies, which was by Ubisoft, I think, and was a multiplayer sci-fi shooter.
Fuck you! Get out of here!
Sorry, I gotta stop you. AJ, I want you to read that one out.
Robbie B, the English Game Cat with the 2 donations, says sexy as fuck, Dave Station. Worth his
Thanks, Robbie.
But yeah, we got Space Junkies, which is kind of a sad story. It was actually a good game that didn't have a lot of content, but really good gameplay. And then they added more content to it.
Too little, too late, right?
Well, it wasn't even too little, too late. Yes, I guess technically that's the easy way to put it. But the other way you could put it is that they added content to it, but then had it on sale like a week before they added the content. And then they added content to it and then took it off sale. So it's like they missed an opportunity there. That's going to be your long shadows.
50 North Korean dollars. And he says, that's right, Dave. Treat yourself. I shall. You know what? I'm going to take a shot too. Not a full one, because I can't take a full shot of whiskey next week.
Dave, I'll take a shot of coffee with you if you want to drink together.
Just a little bit.
And Space Junkies also released with the DualShock 4 only. That's the only game I've ever seen a beta actually hurt. Was Space Junkies' case, because they didn't have move controllers, and then they finally released move controllers, and everyone's like, "Holy shit, this is actually pretty good." But it was it was also $40. Thank you, McConnell.
It was way too expensive, and I think that was the main issue because it's such a solid game. And I will say, even without move support, I liked it a lot. And I kind of, at the time when people were clamoring for move support and saying no move, no buy, whatever, I was like, just try it because it works good. It works very, very well with the DualShock 4.
Yeah, it did.
I still think there's something to be said for using the DualShock over the moves, despite the immersion. But both are great, modes to play it in. It's such a solid game. I just really like it. I wish more people were playing it because it's that old school, like Unreal Tournament, fast-paced, just arena deathmatch kind of thing. You run over a weapon, that's your new weapon, that whole kind of deal. And that scratches a certain itch for me that I really, really like having scratched. But it was way too damn expensive, so nobody got it. And that was it. Oh, we got another one.
Don't tweet me! Who are you? Who are
That's
you?
going to be Techno Gatsby, the Game Cat. Meow. With the 2 donation, no comment. But thank you, Techno. Well, he says, here's a question for you guys in the best and worst theme. What bad game improved the most in 2019 into a goodish game by year's end?
That's a good question.
Yeah, we weren't prepared for this at all.
No, I can take note of that though. I do think I think Space Junkies is a good example, as well as Crisis Brigade.
I thought you would say that one, yeah.
Crisis Brigade is definitely an example of a game that I first for.
The thing is, neither of them were ever bad. They were always good. They just got way, way, way better. I will say, no, never mind. I was going to say No Man's Sky, but it was never a bad game either.
Yeah. What are you smoking?
Well, they let us ride the animals now, and that was bad. That they didn't at the launch. Now we
really took that to heart, didn't you?
Nah, I was a joke for the most part.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'll say that. For most improved, honestly, I think Golem was never a bad game. Golem was always amazing, even out of the gate. But man, they were very quick to add improvements to Golem. And
that's a really good answer, because the initial locomotion scheme, I think everybody kind of didn't like it, and you just got used to it. But nobody was like, "This is the best thing I've used in VR locomotion," which is what they were expecting. Yeah. But that quick patch was huge, monumental. Like, that got me to play the game again, because I kind of gave up on it when I had to go like,
yeah,
like, I don't know.
So next we got Skyworld, which I think Des did the review for.
Wow, Skyworld came out this week. This month, this year.
This week.
Yes.
This week. I don't know. I'm so trained to say one thing. I'm just a dancing monkey as well.
I didn't actually play that one, but I know Belrami.
I did not.
I played the fuck out of Skyworld, and I love Skyworld, actually.
It's on sale right now for $9.89.
Oh, wait, really?
Oh, absolutely, get it.
989.
Okay, I think I'll buy it, actually.
Yeah, Skyworld is great.
It's usually $30.
Yeah,
it's really difficult. I will say, after the first world, it is really difficult. So if you like a challenging strategy game, definitely pick it up. It's got a cool 1v1 multiplayer. Des and I had a great time playing that together. I kicked his ass every single time, which made me enjoy it even more. Definitely an underrated game. It's awesome.
Verdi the Game Cat says, Telefrag was a dumb idea. If you're going to do 1v1, Yeah,
It's
1v1 VR
Yeah,
game.
it's terrible.
Lightsabers are the
It's not
way to
terrible.
go. I actually agree with that, Rick.
I don't think it's
I
terrible at all.
emailed so the devs emailed
It's
me and
not
said,
very
"Hey,
good.
we gave you a key, and we're wondering if you're going to cover the game in any shape or form." And I basically said, "Listen, I know you guys have this strategy, and their strategy they were very transparent about it. Let's see if they follow through with it. Was that hey, we're going to release this game that's totally unfinished, and we're going to take suggestions from the community and implement additions that way." And I told them, I said, listen, when you're done implementing the community suggestions, let me know and I'll review it then, because right now it's going to be a horrible review. So stay away from Telefrag until it's done, because it's not.
Lots of love for Skyworld. Everyone does think it's too. Well, Just Incredible says it's too pricey for $30, but
Ooh, was it
still a
30 at
good
launch?
game, though.
Jesus,
It's
yeah,
it's $29.99 usually. It's
$10 is
$9.99 right now.
great.
So I might actually pick that up as well.
Yeah.
Next, we got Angry Birds VR Isle of Pigs,
Mm-hmm.
which is actually my first real Angry Birds game I ever played, because I've never really played a mobile phone game in my life.
Talk about the most
Really?
improved of the year, though.
Yeah.
Holy crap, this game was one of the most improved of the year. Because this
Yeah.
started off like pretty, here's 3 worlds to kind of blast through. You can do it in about 90 minutes, no big deal. And then they gave us the spooky update with like basically doubled the number of levels, different environments. And then just last week, the week before, they gave us the make your own level builder. I was like,
Yeah.
holy crap, man! Like this game is like 3 times bigger than it was at launch for the exact same price of $15.
Yeah, I mean, even at launch, I was kind of satisfied with it because it takes, I haven't played much Angry Birds, but I've played it at some point in my life. It's been around forever, and so it takes that into VR in a really cool way, and it just feels right. Kind of like, Fruit Ninja. I'm not going to say it's a great game. I think this is a better version of that port to, from mobile to VR, but I had a great time with it for what it was. I think it's the concept of just shooting stuff and knocking everything over like Jenga blocks is just satisfying, and they can just keep adding content. So
Christopher Hart actually made an Angry Birds level with the new Angry Birds level, which I think is
it's very challenging.
Yes,
very
his level is very
challenging.
challenging. So, I
still have to play Will's Squishies level that he made me for Halloween.
Squishy Souls.
I just feel like an asshole because I told him I would play it. Maybe next Halloween.
Listen, I tell Will things all the time that I don't mean. It's okay.
After that,
He's
we
used to it
got
by now.
we got the VR Titanic bundle or VR Titanic experience.
Skip it.
Skip it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, well,
Not VR education really tries hard. They really do, and they're better than most. If you go like to an aquarium or go to a space center or something, and they have a stupid VR experience for like $30, everything VR education does is better than what offers there for like $20.
But it ain't good.
But it still ain't that great.
Yeah.
Next, we got the Counterfight series. We got Counterfight Samurai Edition and Counterfight. Brian, you seem to be, and Dave, I think you guys were fans of this game.
Yeah, I think I was the first one to stream that. I had fun with it. It's like, it's one of those standard make food, stuff happens, go fast, it's hectic kind of things.
Yeah.
But there's some fun twists. You got robbers that come in and you got to throw shit at them. And I think in the Samurai Edition, you have a sword that you can use. It's enjoyable and well priced, I think.
yeah, you get it for cheap enough. It's all good, But actually, the one to stay away from, unless they patch it. I got to be honest. I haven't checked it since launch. Counterfight 3 is half broken. It seems like
I never played the third one.
Yeah, one and two were pretty much spot on. There's some like weirdness with the move controllers. I think where like
2 is much better with being able to grab stuff and like your space, not having to go outside your space. I think 2 is probably the best one, Samurai Edition.
because 2 actually had like say your hand is supposed to be here in VR. I feel like the hand was actually one step further out, where it was like making it easy for you to grab things. Because
It was so much easier to play. Yeah.
But three is really weird. There's like a hanging basket. It's actually the trailer that we're showing here. I think it's a hanging basket of tomatoes or something, kind of like in front of you and to the right. And when you try to grab it, the thing just goes flying, and it's like you just can't get anything out of it. I couldn't even beat a single level, I don't think, with 3 because it was just kind of broken and the tracking didn't work so
that
well.
sucks.
So we'll be
I
looking.
can't believe there's 3 of them that came out in this year. That's a little bit of overkill.
Yeah.
Like 1 or 2 would have been plenty.
Well, didn't 1 and 2 come out during the same week?
It was pretty close to each other. I feel like 2 could have just been DLC for 1, honestly, but
Well, I think 3 could have been DLC for 1 as well.
yeah.
But
After Counterfight, we got Beat Blaster, which was Ivanovich Games' first game, I think. And
after, of course,
Operation
Warcade.
Warcade. Right. Second
which is
game,
a
sorry.
much better game than Beat Blaster.
I actually enjoyed Beat Blaster more, to be honest with you. I liked
but it's so
Operation
lame.
Warcade. Well, Operation Warcade's also apparently broken, so I don't know.
No, it's not. It's awesome. I love it.
There was
they
a
break it with a patch?
The patch broke the
Yeah.
audio for some people.
Okay, well, so the original version before they patched it, I liked a lot.
But I actually, this is Beat Blaster is like one of the few games I actually like rudder. I actually enjoyed it like that because you're like surfing on a little disc and shooting. So yeah, that's the only game I like with that. But 1999, oof.
Wait, did you say Beat Blaster is the only game you like with 3D rudder?
It's one of two games that I like.
That's pretty damning.
Scraper being the other game.
Because I will say Beat Blaster is not even a good game. And if that's one of the two
Some
games
people like
that
Beat
the
Blaster.
rudder is, some people might. I don't care. It's not a good game.
I like Beat Blaster, but only
wrong.
It's fine. But they give you this ability to use it with the aim controller, with the move controller, the DualShock 4. Give you all these options and the 3D rudder. They give you all these options for controls, and only there's only and two different types of head movement to control.
Head movement, yeah.
And only one of the head movement types works, and I really only enjoyed it with the dual move controllers. So I'm like, okay, with all of these options, I only enjoyed it playing one particular way, and the rest were, for me, almost unplayable.
All right, so we've got people in the chat saying I'm wrong. That's fine.
I don't
McConnor
think
says Beat Blaster is awesome when it clicks. That's fine. I've spoke at length about this before.
That's not a game.
Gamescast.
Yeah, that's not a game that I would try and convince you is a game. Like I can see people liking the game. I can see people not liking the game.
I'd rather play Proton Pulse if we're talking about alliterative titles. Beat Blaster, Proton Pulse.
But next we got Falcon Age.
Do you guys remember Proton Pulse, by the way?
I do. That was like year one.
Came out a long time ago.
2016.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll go. Okay, let's go ahead.
We got Falcon Age, which has the best bird mechanics in a game. Shout out to Ika. Ika was actually, or Eka was
Eka.
Yeah.
He was on. He did Kind of Funny Games posted on YouTube their PSVR show, and they had Eka on there summertime.
Also, shout out to Kind of Funny adopting the Why We Love format for their PlayStation VR show.
They brought it back. Yeah, it's very good. I'm glad they did that. Before, it was a little more. You got to see them play it. It wasn't just them talking about it.
It was like a let's play, first impression kind of videos. Yeah.
I'm glad they brought it back. The only sad thing is that usually their videos get thousands and thousands of views in the first hour. I checked on this one in like 2 hours after they posted it, and it had like 160 views, which means that they might not continue it if they're not getting any positive feedback.
Well, it was a Patreon thing that was aired in like June.
Yeah, they've all been filmed for the season.
So right.
Oh, all right. So they're just releasing it later on.
But
okay.
but they might not. I think that the only change that might happen is next season. If they do a season 3, they might go back to the Let's Play format, because all the comments I'm seeing over there is a lot of talking, no gameplay, which is why we changed the format of Why We Love so many times and kept showing more and more gameplay as we went, because people.
Yeah, as much as I love those guys, like there's no footage in that. Yeah. They don't show any footage. They just talk for 30 minutes,
and they have like
you don't.
1 minute trailer that they cut up into 2-second segments that they try to disperse throughout. I was like, show us some gameplay, guys. You played the game, film it. Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Anyways, we're talking about Falcon Age. All I gotta say is that bird is fucking incredible.
Yep.
That bird is really cool.
All the effort they put into that and the love they put into just that one mechanic kind of is enough to make me overlook some of the shortcomings. And also it spawned so many GIFs on Twitter. Right. I've seen so many Falcon Age bird GIFs. It's just great. It's fun. And it's got a cool message. If the story may not be for everybody, but I like the gist of it, like the themes behind it.
Yeah.
And I see what they were going for. But like every game they've created, as soon as it starts getting good, it's done. Like Dino Frontier, it's like you get a few hours in, you like it, okay, game over. You don't get to use those mechanics anymore.
If you just want to play with the bird and do some attacks, little bit of a short adventure. I loved that they had the transistor sword, from Transistor. And I love the little just nods to other games. I think because Eka worked on that as well. And just overall really good dude. And I actually really like this game. I think it's I can see it kind of being divisive. But myself, I did enjoy this game and got the platinum on it. Actually, easy platinum.
This was another one that on day one I was like, or I guess I was streaming it a little bit before it came out, and I was like, for a game I was looking forward to so much, it's like, ooh, controls don't feel good. Like there was definitely quite a few problems with it, and kudos to Outer Loop, man. Like they really fixed up the game and listened to the community, and I think it plays way better than it did at launch now.
Yeah,
I just
and
love that bird, man.
When we say short, like if you get it on sale, it's still like 4 hours. And if you do everything, 3? Okay,
I mean,
4
I
if you
think
do
3.
everything.
Yeah.
3 or 4. It took me longer than 3, but
okay.
I don't know. Wait, Just Incredible, we all might be a bit too old for Falcon Age? I don't think that's true at all.
What?
Kind of makes sense.
Themes, the themes of the dialogue and everything, the story is all about like anti-colonialism and all this stuff that is not kid stuff. Like there's some adult themes in there for sure. Not like, fucking and killing people, but like adult themes. I don't think
that's we needed more of that in Falcon Age, the fucking and the killing, obviously.
I really like just messing with the bird and stuff and unlocking the stuff for the bird. It's right. It's $20, Corix. It was just on sale, so you did just miss the sale on that, unfortunately. But next we had Table of Tales, The Crooked Crown.
Yes. So that is a great fucking game.
So when we were we were introducing this segment, and I was talking about the games that came out this year, and saying, man, I kind of forgot how good some of the, so how good we had it. This is one of the games that I was talking about because Table of Tales is incredible.
And just to let people know, this is where things started really picking up. And this is where we started getting hit with lots of good games every week. And it was busy as hell. It was tough. But it was great.
It was. And this is also, we did a Why We Love episode on Table of Tales, but I never got an actual review out there. The funny thing is, the review's completely written. It was like 6 months ago, 7 months ago, something. I even get the voiceovers done, got all the video footage. So you can probably expect to see a Table of Tales actual review during this slow period where we have no new games coming out.
You should start like a From the Vault series of games that people wanted you to review, you didn't get around to, but you almost did.
Yeah.
And like, something blast from the past sort of thing.
I just enjoy the comments where people are like, you're just reviewing this now? I was like, yes, I am.
Well, that's
You're
why
welcome.
you call it From the Vault. You say From the Vault.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't get those awesome comments.
I did really like Table of Tales. I liked it that it was pirate themed. It was so nice to get and it had a very like Jumanji feel. Did anyone else feel like that? Like kind of felt like,
well,
because you're like up in an attic playing a game, and it's like this old dusty attic.
Nothing happens to you. Nothing happens to you. Like if the whole thing of Jumanji is like you play the game, but you become part of the game, and things are I don't know.
Right.
I see what you're saying because it's a tabletop thing.
But
and it changes.
Excellent narrative, excellent music, really fun strategy, really charming characters. I really thought the characters and stuff were really cool.
It's one of those games that makes you want to replay it more than anything, like most games I can think of, because the choices are very big, and they shift the story in a totally different direction. Like at the beginning of the game, you have to kill one of your main characters immediately. And I was like, what? Okay, I'm on board. Let's do this thing.
Yeah.
And that itself changes the whole, places that you go and all that stuff. But within the story, there are a lot of branching paths that are fun to go back and check out. And it's just such a good presentation. Even though you're sitting in front of a table, it's kind of magical. I really like it.
So then we got Quiver, which was just okay. It was kind of broken.
It's fine.
Good. It had good bow mechanics, like the bow and arrow felt good, but the game itself was kind of just meh. And it seemed like they did everything they could to just release the game. And then even the dude told me himself, I can't release any patches for this. So kind of just think, oh God, but it's $25. Good God. No, Quiver for 25. That's terrible. But then we got a game, Brian, after that, that's actually 50% off right now. It's only $9.99, and it is called Immortal Legacy: The Jade Cipher.
I'll let you guys talk about this one.
This to me is, controls aside, which I had no problem with the controls. I might fight for this game on the next top 20 as well. I really love this game, and it's wacky Chinese folklore, action-packed. It's kind of like a mix between Uncharted and Resident Evil in a way. And yes, I said those words. Those words did come out of my mouth, and I love Immortal Legacy, Brian.
I love Immortal Legacy as well. I think this has a lot in common with Blood and Truth, and when
Blood and Truth.
yes, and when we make the top 20
You got to
list,
sell me on this. Hold on. What does it have in common with Blood and Truth? 'Cause that sounds like ridiculous to me. What does it have in common with Blood and Truth?
well, I mean, it's like
Oh, wait, hold on. Hit me, Dave, before you guys
I got
fight
you.
it out.
Who gave you the right to tweet me?
This is going to be Nihilist Ryan, the game feline, with a $5 donation. Says AJ should like this. Brought PSVR to the family's house for Xmas, and the biggest hit was Vertigo Home.
I quit.
Your
I'm
out.
family
So you
are
guys-
a bunch of degenerates.
I'm out.
They
Nihilists.
got their cake on,
I'm so
baby.
out. Bye.
I'm going to get my cake on. It's not a toy. Love it. Thank you, Nihilist Ryan.
Oh god, we're still talking about it.
You could buy that soundtrack, by the way, just in case.
Why would you? But let's go.
It's not a toy.
Oh man.
Okay, back to Immortal
I
Legacy.
feel
This
so
game,
bad for Nihilist Ryan's family. This is what
Why?
they think
It's a
VR
good-
is. Oh god.
You didn't show them like Beat Saber or Ocean Descent or anything, did you? Because like Vertigo Home, I don't know. Old people. Maybe they like weird
There
stuff.
you go, old people. You nailed it in 2 words. Yeah, no. So whatever. So I think Immortal Legacy is great. You got dual wielding. You've got a very interesting inventory management system where there's where you get your left hand and your right hand. You have to swap between things. And man, it is complicated as fuck at the beginning, and it doesn't seem to. You're like, what am I doing? This doesn't seem to work right. And once you get the hang of it, man, it is amazing. I'm opposed to every single person who says the story sucks. I will say the story is a great setup for a series, as lots of great games do. And yeah, after beating it in 3, maybe 4 hours, I was ready for more. And the game leaves you on a cliffhanger. Totally ready for Mortal Legacy 2. It does everything in my book. It does like pretty much everything right. And this is one of my games of the year. I would put this above everything. And when I fight for Blood and Truth on like the top 20 list, I fight for it because I think it's the generally more accepted action game. But man, I would always rather play Immortal Legacy than Blood and Truth. It just checks more of those boxes.
Are
for me.
you kidding?
I'm not kidding. Not
Oh
not even
my
remotely.
God.
Like
I
Immortal
gotta
Legacy
say,
is amazing.
This is one of those things. I agree with you guys on so much stuff. I feel like we see eye to eye on a ton of things. Immortal Legacy being more fun than Blood and Truth.
Yeah.
I can't even fathom.
No, I don't
that
agree with
thought.
that.
I can't even fathom that thought.
I don't
But-
agree with
well,
that.
but
I still
I
love
also
Immortal
want to
Legacy.
know. I want to know how you think it's similar to Blood and Truth, because to me
Because
there are no
because it's
similarities at all.
cinematic. Because it has a lot of cinematic.
It's not cinematic
You-
in nearly the same
you
way.
get
as-
you. No, I'm
sit in one
not
spot
to the.
while you're chained up, and you look at Cookie Pie talking to you, and then some guy comes over. And
Yes,
you're like,
but what
okay.
happens right after that? You walk and there's a giant waterfall with a crashed ship. There's like a lot of mystery. That's why I like the comparison to Uncharted more.
Yeah.
I like the comparison to Uncharted because it's kind of like an adventure, and it's an adventure shooter, and then it just turns fucking full horror on you, and that's what I love about it is the mixture of action, shooting, adventure, and then like horror, and then it's got the Chinese folklore on top of it, and just crazy. Crazy characters and stuff. I do wish they reintroduced them, but I was still glad to see them. Also, great graphics.
We get some
It's very-
crazy people in the chat.
Very
too,
much
man.
a
You guys-
personal
I
preference.
guess-
I'm very much aware of the appeal that Blood and Truth has, and that's why like I always fight for Blood and Truth as higher on the top 20 list. This is a very personal thing for me. This checks the boxes for things that I love, and so that's why. I mean, I totally understand where we're at here.
Kev Gret says we won't be getting any more games.
Yeah.
Studio says they have no money to do it.
That's what they're
So,
saying.
I don't really
publicly.
care.
That's what they're saying
I-
publicly, and I don't think that this is the last time we hear from Viva Games, especially as far as VR is concerned. I think this game will catch on eventually. It's only $20 game. You know, we're not even talking about we're not talking even remotely expensive at all, and it's currently on sale for $10. Like if you're not playing this, you're insane.
Yeah, $10 is amazing. Even Kev Gret said that. Booyah!
I mean,
So
that's
next-
fine. For $10, it's not bad. I'm not going to say it's more fun than Blood and Truth. 'Cause
No,
that's-
I wouldn't say that either. But I
Not
still
a
love
better
this
game. Not a better
dearly.
game, but more fun.
it's. I can't agree with you on either count.
I'm
but
okay with you not agreeing with me.
Well,
That's just
let's
I just
move
want to
on.
make sure I'm clear about what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I stand with you, Brian. I'm there. So another big hitter of the year, Ghost Giant came out next.
Impeccable. So well done. Beautiful. Emotional. Makes you cry. it should have been on the top 20, but I see why we let it slip. It's very, very good, and if you haven't played it, I would suggest that you do.
I like this
If you
game,
have
but it
a
was
heart-
kind of a one and done for me.
Of course it is. That's what it is.
But
You
like
know
a
what it is.
3.5 hour one and done. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it left an impression
was
on me.
quality.
So every other one and done game I've played, I play it and then I don't think about it ever again. Ghost Giant left an actual impression on me, and to the point that anytime it comes up, I will say, yes, please buy it. Please experience it. It is very good. I was touched. I liked it a lot. And it's so well, I mean, the soundtrack, the way that they stage things is almost like, it's like a play in some moments, you know, like the set pieces and everything. The spotlight drops down, the stage rises up. It's very, very meticulous in the way that it's presented. And it all comes together in this way that, I mean, the voice acting, the characters, it's just all, I can't say much bad about it. I don't think I can say anything bad about it other than if you don't like this kind of game, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's one of my favorites of this year.
There are only there's only a few games that ever made me cry, I guess, and this game made me cry twice.
Yeah, same.
Absolutely. This, I mean, hit so many. It just hit home at so many times with its overarching theme of depression and friends and all this stuff, whatever, right? And it was so satisfying to have Des on Why We Love and do an episode about this and hear that I wasn't like #Brian cries. This is actually like a legitimate thing where like other people experienced the same emotion that I did, and it was.
Oh yeah,
it's just such a powerful game, and it's so well told. And when it looks like Animal Crossing, and then these characters and the story and the music all come together to make you forget that these are little puppet-looking characters, cartoon characters, and make you relate to them on a severe emotional level. Like, I mean, that's brilliance right there, hands down. And the other thing I will say about it is that this in Golem, for a guy who doesn't really listen to video game soundtracks outside of the game, I'm like, I really love when it works well in the game, but outside of the game, I don't really listen to video game music, right? This in Golem have two of the most amazing soundtracks that I will just put on in the background, and fucking stunningly beautiful music. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and if you like it, they actually released it. I don't know if it's still available on vinyl. Was that limited run that put out the soundtrack?
It was actually Perp, I think, and there was like literally 400 copies of the vinyl I think ever made. Maybe
well, okay,
less.
it's probably not there anymore, but maybe you can get it online or on Spotify or something. It's very
Corks, the game cat says, I experience no emotions.
That's because you're emotionless.
No, that's because
right.
the
You
only
have a
game
cold
that can
heart.
make him feel emotions is Corks.
It's a strange game to do it to you, but it's a good game.
That game did hit me in the feels. It still didn't hit me in the feels as much as Moth or Farpoint. I know some of those sound kind of weird, but it's the truth.
I didn't cry during
Just
Moth or
Incredible.
Farpoint.
Just Incredible says another kids game. And Justin, I need you to stop with that shit because first of all, the first game you said was a kids game was not a kids game. And this, I think, is harder if you're an adult than it does if you're a kid. I mean, a kid could play it, but there's emotional depth here that wouldn't be lost on a kid, but it still works if you're an adult. It's like a Pixar movie. Like if you watch Up, you might cry in that part where those people go through their whole lives and then you see the. It's
Justin
cried the first 5 minutes of it.
Justin says it's a kid's
exactly.
game. Wait, have you played it yet, Justin? But he'll play it first, and then he'll go home and play it later, and after the Gamescast,
he's just
and he'll be like,
he admitted he's just baiting us.
okay. But yeah,
Get out of here,
big happy hits you in the feels game if you're into that kind of thing. I'm not, but I still enjoyed it. But
AJ, these people want you to do a shot, man.
I don't have any alcohol with me, so
I do. I'll do one for you.
do one for me. Next, we got Jupiter and Mars, which was being compared to kind of a Echo the Dolphin.
Oh, fucking stop
VR.
it with that goddamn comparison. What a goddamn joke this is. Oh, it's a game where you play as a dolphin. It must be the same as this other game where you play as a dolphin. Are you fucking
The
serious?
developers.
Well, you know
the
what?
developers themselves were really pissed that they were like, it's not like Echo. Like we've never even thought about Echo when we made this game.
The gameplay, I mean, I've played a lot of Echo when I was a kid, and I played all the way through Jupiter and Mars when it came out, and there's no similarity other than playing as a dolphin. It's like, I don't compare one game where you play as a human to another game where you're playing as a human. So that's all I got for you. But
Do you guys remember
it's hilarious.
how goddamn hard Echo was?
It was
Echo
fucking
is
impossible.
Fucking very, very hard.
Oh yeah, it was really hard.
They didn't
Dude,
hold
that
their hand
guy-
at all.
I follow that guy
AJ.
on Twitter too.
Yeah, AJ, you just
Your audio took a
switched.
shit.
Oh, hold on.
I think your mic switched on accident. Yeah, no, there's something appealing about Jupiter and Mars, right? Because it's a massive collectathon, and while the graphics are okay at best, there's certainly this like
They
peaceful.
did get better.
They
got
did with the
Pro
patch, right? But
Yeah.
it's more about for me this peaceful, serene environment, and but it's just one big massive collectathon until the very last level where it becomes a stealth game. And I was like, wait a minute, like what you just introduced basically essential stealth elements at the very end of your game. I know they were like here and there like throughout it, but man, it just seemed really a little bit disjointed. Oh, there it is.
Oh yeah. We got Danny Parker with the 30 pounds, which is exactly the amount of
30
weight that I
euros.
realized that I need to lose. 30 pounds is how much I need to lose. He says, "You guys are just awesome. Thank you for your dedication and sharing. You got me into VR. That's awesome." Brian, pat yourself on the back for that one. You hit me in the feels, and Dave, I drink one for you. Smiley face.
Thank you very much,
Thanks
Danny
so much,
Parker.
Danny.
It's really
You're
nice
awesome.
to hear. Thank you. All right, I think we need to move on from Jupiter and Mars. Wait, is AJ back up and running?
I just see a
I see the
static
little-
image of him,
and I
and
see-
it says no audio. Oh, there he is. Hey, he's 1 second. He said 1 second. Okay, we can move on from.
Okay.
Oh, he's gone. He was the one reading the list.
He was.
Though.
Maybe he
So,
can type it in the chat.
Maybe.
What's our next game,
Um,
AJ? You're in control of this shit.
So as far as Jupiter and Mars goes, though, like there's something that I wanted to like about it a lot.
Yeah.
I was expecting to really enjoy it, and I like the concept behind it. I like the when I hear the people who made it talk about it. It sounds cool.
Yeah.
But just it's kind of aimless. You don't really know where you're going a lot of the time. It's not that fun, really.
That is a
And-
big problem. It's not terribly
Well,
fun.
And when it first came out, it was just sort of like not good looking.
All
AJ,
right,
you
I don't
back?
know what happened there.
There he is.
But yeah, next game is okay. So I actually did like Jupiter and Mars, but I pretty much agree with Brian there. The patch did make it better because originally it looked like a PS1 game in VR. Did
That's
you guys
rough.
get Danny Parker with that donation?
We did get Danny Parker in your
I
absence.
absolutely
Um,
did. And he is
so-
a great guy.
Thank you, Danny Parker.
I also want to, real quick, I want to welcome the chosen,
the chosen Dutch. You
new
are
to
the
channel.
chosen Dutch.
Come on in, man.
Welcome.
Wait, what,
It's a fun
Um,
time.
what was the comment that we're welcoming for?
He said hello, new to the channel.
Oh,
Yes.
welcome.
So I don't know if you just got a VR for Christmas, and if you did, it's a very exciting time for you because this man over here, Brian from Without Parole, has posted a lot of reviews of games, and if you're curious if a game's going to be good or not, you should probably check it out.
Make sure you check out Dave and AJ's
so-
channel too. They have hot takes on all sorts of different games.
If you want to see somebody stupidly playing a game and cursing at it,
Drunk plays are the
Yes, we do.
greatest, man. Everybody needs to go watch your Sacrilith. I was so mad that you streamed Sacrilith at like 4 a.m. because that was really
it
funny
was
to
really,
watch.
really late. Yeah.
But hit me, Dave, real quick. And that's going to be Robbie B, the English game cat, with the 2
so
donations. Says
posh.
RE7, stop with these fucking kids games.
See?
Oop.
I agree, Robbie.
Thank you,
Stop
Robbie.
it with these kids games. Fuck everything but RE7.
Next, we had a chair in a room, which was
Yes.
Wolf and Wood's next game. They made The Exorcist. This was a lot better than The Exorcist, in my opinion.
It's heart wrenching to say things like that because I actually like the Exorcist Legion VR better, but it's broken. It's still broken. I
Right.
don't know why they stopped listening to people and stopped trying to fix it because they've universally said, "Oh, we fixed Exorcist. It's all good now." And I'm like, wait, no. It's actually not. Chapter 3 is still completely broken, and so there's game-breaking bugs in that game, and they need to fix it. However, you're right. This is actually way more polished than that.
Yeah. They still need a little bit of work with the controls. I remember playing that game and then being like, God, like everybody would be begging for Immortal Legacy controls.
Right. Like, why are we using face buttons to walk forward? One button to walk forward, one button to walk backwards. This is so counterintuitive.
There was no strafing, no nothing like that. So,
Right.
But still, I think a really good thriller. Like it kind of reminded me of what was that TV show that was kind of popular too? It had like Matthew McConaughey and somebody else. It was like a dark and gritty thriller. It's kind of horror, suspenseful, detective.
True Detective?
True Detective. It kind of had like a True Detective vibe to me. I don't know.
I'll give you that. I never watched it.
Which season of True Detective?
Oh,
The first one.
Getting real specific
Okay.
here.
Yeah. Well, because the first one is the good one, and everything else was supposed to be kind
All
of
right.
nothing.
So next we have Brian's chance to let off some steam. Brian, tell us about one of the worst games of 2019 in Tale of a Fragmented Star.
Ooh, I can't wait. So I think we should have a special category for all these bad anime girl games that we got in 2019, because there were quite a few. I mean, I know we'll get to it, but Project Lux, fucking Last Labyrinth, debatably, maybe not, but
No
there were a
debate.
lot of these bad anime girl games. So what'd you think?
I mean, this was the first, right? I think this was us going, oh well, you know, how bad could it possibly be? The trailer looks horrible, but how bad could it possibly be? It's puzzle solving. All you're doing is telling this girl where to go. And I will tell you that what you're seeing here in the corner of the screen is one of two places you stand in the entire game. Sometimes you stand right there, and then sometimes you stand someplace else that looks identical to this right here. And so,
I'm so sorry. I know you were mid-sentence,
Quite
but
all
Danny
right.
Parker with another big 35 euros, I guess, and
Yes.
12 cents. I wonder if that's meaningful in some way. 35.12. What does that
It
mean?
probably converted it when he donated it.
The last one was a straight 30, though, so I'm curious. Anyways, he said, Brian, I had your Doom stream playing while sleeping last night. Perfect setting. I bet you had some great nightmares,
I was
some
just gonna
hellish...
say.
Yeah.
You know, so the funny thing is while Danny Parker was sleeping, although probably not because of our time zone difference, I was sleeping to the new, thank you AJ for recommending this, the new Doom movie that showed up on Netflix, Doom Annihilation. And
Oh, wait, that's out?
I
it's
watched
out
it
on
last
Netflix.
night.
Is The Rock reprising his role
No,
as a guy
no.
in Doom? Damn. Okay.
So
No.
we both had Doom things on while we were sleeping because I fell asleep about halfway through the new Doom movie, and probably for the best because man, I was losing interest.
Not good.
It was
at a
not very good.
record
It was
speed.
it was worse than the first one.
I still haven't seen the first one, and part of me, just because I've loved
you
Doom
need to-
since I was a kid, I feel like I need.
You need
see
to go
the
watch
first one.
you need to go watch the first one. I will
guess,
say there
yeah.
is a cool thing in Doom Annihilation, which is what it's called.
This is
that
not
they were
gonna be right.
there's a guy playing Space Pirate Trainer in the
But-
very beginning.
but
Are you
with
kidding?
with a huge butt after
Oh,
it.
I know, but why is that, Brian? Why is it the butt?
Because they show just very briefly Space Pirate Trainer, and then they show him sitting at a table with a bunch of other people with a VR headset on, with like some kind of controller,
What kind of controller was that?
and like he's sitting
That
at a table.
doesn't make any
There's
goddamn sense.
literally no way to play Space Pirate Trainer with a table in front of you. It just will not work.
No.
And
Yeah.
I was like, oh man. I was like, they
Bullshit.
I was like, ooh, they tried, but they didn't try hard enough. They almost had something cool there.
That actually kind of reminds me. I don't know if anybody watched the, and I don't usually watch Saturday Night Live, but my parents wanted to see it because Eddie Murphy was on one of the recent ones.
Oh wow.
And in the cold open where they have the Democratic debate, like parody or whatever, they have Andrew Yang put on a VR headset, and he's like, "In VR, I'm the #1 front runner" or whatever. But it was a PSVR.
Oh.
They had him put on a PSVR, and I was like, "Oh, that's
Nice.
kind of cool." Like just seeing it here and there is kind of fun.
Just,
So I don't know if
just
anybody
incredible.
thought-
Doom is kind of a guilty pleasure of mine too. Also, what up, Albo VR? Albo VR in the house.
Hey,
What's
wow,
up, guys?
Albo
Can't-
themselves in the
yes,
person.
cannot wait to play that game. It's been looking great, actually. Everyone, make sure you are following Albo because it looks like a good modern shooter. They've been listening to a lot of community feedback, and it's looking pretty good. So excited for that one. It's pretty good. Brian, were you done with Tale of the Fragments of Star?
I was not. In fact, I got interrupted mid-sentence.
Yes.
So
We
the thing.
barely started.
Just
Right.
you need to go watch the review though. Really.
Also, is that Steve Alvo VR? Just curious. I want to know who's behind the Alvo VR tag. So if that's Steve, what up, Steve?
What up, Steve?
So here's the thing, my catchphrase, and it also set up my disappointment for Last Labyrinth was that you have no control over this anime girl. You basically have to look at things and tell her what to do, and then there's this pause, and then she's like that thing, and you're like yep, and then there's like this very slow response to what you told her to do, and man, it is just painstakingly slow to do the simplest of things. And we were like, well, you know what, Last Labyrinth, they've got this figured out because they've got a bunch of talented developers over there, and they've got an amazing pedigree. What up, Steve? It is actually him. And so I was like, Last Labyrinth has this under control. It looks like they're going to have the same issues, and then as it turns out, they had the exact same
my
issues.
Goodness, Danny Parker, Mr. Moneybags. Holy shit.
Ow, ow, ow! Fuck you, ah!
Another odd amount, $34.88 in euros, and there is no message this time. Danny, if you'd like us to say anything, just type it in the chat and we'll read it whenever we see it. But yeah, thanks again, man.
Yes, Danny. Jesus Christ, man! I think you just paid you just paid my mortgage this month. thank you very much. We appreciate you so much.
This is all an effort to keep you from talking about Caleb.
Well, and luckily I'm done. We can move on.
Yes,
This game was
let's move on.
hot trash, and it set the stage for more hot trash to follow.
Yes. Next, we got Box VR, which is actually a really good fitness app. It looks like Beat Saber, but it plays completely different. It's more like boxing. Kind of in the middle there. It's like I said, I don't like it as a game, but I think as a workout app, it's really good.
Very good.
Absolutely.
They did add, however, lots of music to it, including new metal songs. So thank you for that. I'm going to start skipping a couple because, it's getting kind of. We're running out of time. We still got a lot of games.
What
to go
month
through,
are we in at this point?
We're just at the end of January.
We are in May.
Oh, good. We're making a little bit of progress.
So Everybody's Golf came out, and of course, we argue about this game all the time. It's fantastic. Has some of the best golf physics, like swinging the stick and stuff. But the problem is there's no AI, there's no multiplayer. Which, Dave, I know you say this over and over, man. I love you. But yes, those are things I've had in Hot Shots Golf and Everybody's Golf for 20 years.
Well,
so
I do consider too. No, I do
consider those missing features, is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, the same as Borderlands too. It's like it sucks that it's not there. It's an integral part of what you think of as that franchise, but at the same time, sacrifices have to be made for VR. And I think that what we got was a really good single-player version of what Hot Shots Golf is usually like, except for those caddies. I wish you could turn them off.
Oof,
Everybody's going to say that, but otherwise, it's pretty good.
Danny Parker says, "Just thanks for doing your thing. You're very welcome. Thank you for watching us do our thing, because I feel very fortunate that anybody cares what we have to say about anything, to be honest with you. So thank you."
Techno Gatsby, the Game Cat, says, "Sadly, I never have control over real girls either." It's kind of a weird comment, but it's funny. I like it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Happy
Strangely, I do. I
I
just look at something and they go, I go,
Oh yeah, all the girls
They
at
run over and make
Dunkin'
coffee.
Donuts. All the girls at Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah.
I do have some special girls over at Dunkin' Donuts. I do.
Then we did get 11-11, which was a very short.
Wait, I thought we were going to start skipping games, and you're not skipping 11-11?
I just want to make
man. Let's go past that.
Okay.
Big titles, bad titles, good titles.
Yeah,
so
the best and the worst.
We got Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. And this, in my opinion, I know Dave's not a fan. We talked about it earlier before the thing, so we don't have to go too much into it. This game scared the shit out of me.
Yep.
Like, very much so.
Me too.
Up there with Resident Evil 7. Really did. I promise you. I'm not making that up. And, yeah, I mean, you're not going to see me go in my streams and stuff, but
So
it still
disappointing.
scared the hell out of me. And I love the DLC. I really can't wait to see what else they do. Quality, polished, worth $30 in my opinion.
Yeah.
Awesome game. But then
maybe I'm just stone cold, but I thought it was tedious and not scary and not that fun to play.
But you also remember every time you've talked about Five Nights at Freddy's, though, you've always been sitting in one space and pressing security cameras. But there's like so many more different types of games.
I played the mini games, even on the stream that I did. I played the mini games.
But you would have had to unlock some, and I don't think you unlocked like other ones. I think you just maybe played the first ones of each section, maybe, if even. There's a lot of there's more depth to that game than you think.
There is more depth.
If the game,
I will say that, like, if it doesn't
scare you,
if it doesn't rope you in right away, then like none of the mini games are going to work for you.
Yeah,
I'm going to give Dave a pass on this one and say that from the beginning, I was like, oh yeah, no, some of these are tedious, and learning how to do these things with pressure is super tedious, especially when this does scare me, like Resident Evil 7. So I understand the tedium, but I also understand that, like, man, it really, really worked for me on a bunch of different levels. Just a lot of fun. Definitely one of my favorites of the year.
Like I said, I guess I'm just stone cold. I don't get scared.
All right, Des. Moving on.
So it's not fun.
So we have, in my opinion, the best game of 2019 that came out. A flagship title for PSVR. Something that I went back and played again on Christmas and around it. And I really think next time I'll be fighting for this to be higher on the list. And that's going to be Blood and Truth.
There we go.
Very good. Very good.
I like I said, I've said it 1,000 times. I grew up playing action James Bond games from GoldenEye Time Crisis, and it's a beautiful mix between the two. I played even like Tomorrow Never Dies, which also had Colin Salmon in it, yeah, this is just everything you would want in an action movie. It puts you front row. If you don't like that, you can skip the cutscenes. They did say that they tried and that they ran into some bugs. I would imagine that that's true because it sounds crazy to make that up. But the truth is, you can go once you beat the game, you can you get the unlocked missions, and then you can play them, and it's got the stars next to stars. It's got the stars next to the missions that are actual, not cutscenes, but actual missions. And when I went through and played those one after another, I really, really loved it.
Now, does that happen on New Game Plus mode when you switch to hard, or do you still have to sit through the cutscenes again?
You can play it on. You can change it to hard from the unlocked missions.
Okay,
but now, I think. Go ahead.
Sorry, there's just a real cool comment in the chat. I didn't know this. The new Jumanji film, says Paper Wings the Game Cat, has a poster of Riggs on a wall in a house.
I heard about that.
I'm guessing because Jack Black plays PSVR. That is really cool. I hope he covers more of it on his gaming channel, Jablinski.
Or they know somebody from Guerrilla Games or Cambridge Studio.
But I'm not saying Riggs is like the best game ever, but it's always cool to see a shout out to PSVR.
Right,
somewhere.
Right. But no, I think Blood and Truth is maybe even a top 5 PSVR game for me.
Yeah, this is a system seller. This is a game that, I mean, my personal preferences aside, this is a game that every single PlayStation VR owner should own and play. It is incredible. It does something much different than any other game. And like the locomotion system that you would think would be like, oh man, this is kind of irritating. You get used to it, and it starts becoming actually kind of fun, like a fun way to traverse the world.
I had no problem with the locomotion system.
Me neither. And I mean, it's kind of like a Time Crisis style game, and that's node-based movement. And so it fits with that sort of nostalgic, like, I don't know, feeling you get for everyone's always wanted. What's that?
No, I'm sorry. I just laughed because Justin Credible said a Riggs poster. How do you even get a Riggs poster?
That's actually a good
question. I don't know. I don't know how you get.
Do those exist somewhere in the world? How do we find one?
I don't know. But continue, Dave. Blood and Truth.
I'm pretty much wrapped up. I'm just saying, I think it's great. Very good.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's a must-have title. It's a flagship PSVR game. It's $20 right now. Absolutely get it. I actually like
good.
I went back and I played the challenges. I remember played the challenges. I was like, yeah, I played these for 15 minutes each. I was done with it. Wrong. I went back and played it some more. I also went back and started using the two-handed weapons more. And I was actually able to aim down the sights, stuff like that. So there are tricks. I have my camera up above my TV, tilted down. And then when I'm holding the two-handed weapons, you just got to make sure you don't have your move controllers right next to each other. Because if you have them right next to each other, they're going to block each other.
Right. Don't put them where they belong.
Right. But I did have them. I kind of spread it out a little bit. And I was actually able to aim down the sights for the first time. I was able to skip past all the cutscenes by doing the thing. I enjoyed the rhythm games. Or the rhythm game was pretty good. But I enjoyed the mini games, I meant to say. The puzzle one, I actually like the puzzle shooter game in that. So, I mean, yeah, playing it on hard also makes it a lot more fun. Because it's not just like just kind of going through the motions. It's like, oh, I actually have to be kind of on my game. Like you can get dropped really quick. So, absolutely one of the best games PSVR has to offer, and I love this game so much.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff you just mentioned, by the way, if people don't know, is free DLC that came out almost unannounced after the game dropped, and they just keep adding stuff. I think the last one was maybe the final DLC. Did they say it was the final DLC?
Yes, it was the final DLC.
Yep. But still, I mean, for free, for them to just spontaneously be like, hey, here's some new challenges, here's some new time trials, here's the rhythm game. They didn't have to do that because the game is already so solid for the price, and especially for $20. It's a no-brainer. You gotta have Blood and Truth.
In the chat, Dave Page says, "I'm glad Brian can put his personal preferences aside. That's why Astrobot is still number one."
Somebody also mentioned Jumanji is a Sony film, and that's probably how a Riggs poster ended up in the movie. Yeah, because
they had it in the back.
Has a Riggs poster, yeah, Sony would have it.
That seeing Riggs trailer at the French what was the French showcase that they had conference?
Paris Games Week.
Paris Games Week. Thank you. the first time I saw that Riggs commercial, I literally almost shed a tear. I was like, "Oh my god, this is so beautiful." Then I played it, and it was awesome. Trover
on.
Saves the Universe
There we go.
came out, and I am a huge Rick and Morty fan. I need to catch up on the new season, actually. Accounting Plus was a lot of fun. Rick and Morty was not very good. For those that want to ask, it still sells a shit ton because the name that's attached to
It was
it.
like $10. It would be a fun little Rick and Morty experience, but whew.
So on Reddit, when people are like, "I just got my PSVR," I've seen so many pictures where the game next to it is Rick and Morty,
Right?
and I'm like, "Oh God, no, come on!"
But
What?
Justin Roiland, he's a huge supporter of VR, and it is Alchemy Labs too. But yeah, I think. But
I mean, that's
Trover
the only
is
bad game Alchemy Labs ever did.
Yeah, exactly.
I did like Accounting Plus a lot too. But Trover, I also liked a lot, and I think I played it for. I think the comedy is what really makes it a lot better. The gameplay is kind of on the easy side, but it's there, and it's pretty cool. It's a good platformer.
Yeah, it never gets boring. Like, I mean, for a hack and slash kind of simple platformer, it never gets boring, and I think we can probably attribute a lot of that to the comedy.
Yeah, and then the DLC, the intergalactic space jobs, important jobs, or whatever. Those were absolutely hilarious.
I have to stop you right now. I'm so sorry. I gotta stop you.
Ah, put me down.
Danny Parker, €100.
I feel like I should be taking off my clothes right now or something. Like, I don't know.
I actually told somebody earlier who was asking if I would take my shirt off, or they mentioned
Red
me
alert,
taking my shirt off. And I said I'd do it for $20. That's way more.
Nice.
Danny, if you want me to take my shirt off for a second, I will do it. I'll guarantee you. I'll take it off.
No.
I don't know if you'll like what you see, but I'm just saying.
I don't want you to do it.
Nice. Sec Lightning.
No,
I'm
no
looking
offense.
forward to that.
No offense. Dude, Danny Parker, thank you very, very much, man. You help. I mean, I didn't want to like really get into this, but man, like everyone who supports this channel, anyone who doesn't know, I quit my job earlier this year, so I'm doing this full time, 24/7. Still have bills to pay, still have lots of games to buy, so it gets really, really expensive to do all of this stuff. People like Danny Parker make it much, much easier. So thank you very much.
But yeah, if you didn't like the comedy main game, then go play the free DLC that came with Trover, because that is very much more like the Rick and Morty style comedy. Holy shit, the VHS tapes, that's what you want to go hunt for those, because holy shit, that's funny as hell.
Oh, nice. People are going to pay for me to keep my shirt on.
That's
I like that.
I like that too.
I like it.
The next
Some people want me to do it. Oh, wait, but Danny's the one who donated. He said, yeah, go for it.
The next bigger game that came out is Vacation Simulator.
I forgot about Vacation Simulator, talking about Alchemy.
I
we
almost
were
did
just
too.
talking about Alchemy Labs.
And I really liked Vacation Simulator. I liked it more than Job Simulator.
I liked it more than Job Simulator too, and that's not a popular opinion, I don't think.
No, because Job Simulator is it's like an original VR game,
I wasn't paying attention. I looked over, and there Dave was, like, all splayed out, half naked. I was
Poor
like, I
people.
was not expecting this.
Did you
Poor
catch when I
people. If you're
squeezed my
joining
nipples?
right now, I apologize. No, I'm just kidding. No apologies here.
Man,
But
alcohol would make this so much easier to deal with.
I love the
Hey,
exploration. This is the thing. Vacation Simulator. Here's the thing. Vacation Simulator wasn't as funny as Job Simulator.
Correct.
It kind of wasn't like as clever, but it had so much more to do, and it had a whole world to explore. Kind of lots of mini games and stuff. I really liked the kayak and stuff, and lots of secrets to find. And it was very polished, and that was a fun game.
Yeah, it's a great game. Trevor is incredible. Trover. Somebody in the chat just said Trevor.
Vacation
Went into my
Simulator.
brain.
We're talking about Vacation Simulator.
Oh my god!
all right.
Well,
You're
somebody-
distracted.
Okay, I took my shirt off. I'm sorry.
But yeah, Dave,
Yeah.
did you like Vacation Sim?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it expands the idea of Job Sim into some cool new areas. I think the water mechanics are some of the best water mechanics I've ever seen in any
Oh, the water
VR
did
game.
look really good.
Like, there's a waterfall and then there's also a river, and just playing with the water, the physics are so good. They look so good.
I didn't
It's
think
just-
about that.
It's delightful. I mean, I think if you're into that sort of thing, it adds more of a gameplay loop. Also, you got to go hunt down stuff and do certain things to progress. I don't know.
It's a very joyful game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What's keeping this from hitting up? Like, Job Simulator made a lot of top 10 lists, top 20 lists, like early on in PSVR's lifespan. What's keeping this from being a top 20 contender?
I think we had already sort of collectively decided Job Sim is cool, but it's like a good intro experience to VR.
I think he's
It'll
talking
wow
about
you at
Vacation Sim.
no. What I'm saying, this is relevant. This is relevant.
Mm.
Vacation Sim is just sort of an expanded version of the same thing that they did in Job Sim. The mechanics are essentially the same. The feel is the same. It is not a expansion, but like a sequel that feels like an expansion. So I don't know. If we're not putting Job Sim on, it's hard to put Vacation Sim on.
Gotcha. I understand. Interesting, because I do feel like there's a spot for this on the top 20 somewhere. I do feel like that this game was just such a joy from beginning to end. All the different puzzles and finding all the different ways that the different lands interacted with each other. I had a real blast with this, and I'm surprised that it doesn't come up in conversation more often.
Yeah, it wasn't as big of a hit as Job Simulator for some reason, which is strange because I think it's actually better.
Yeah,
Maybe it's the comedy. Maybe the comedy just doesn't stick.
maybe
I don't know.
it does seem like the first one was designed for adults, and this one was designed a little bit more for kids.
Right.
But
True. But I'm a kid at heart, so
there you go.
but yeah, thank you, Matt H. Now, next, I love this one. This is the best free experience that I can think of besides Rec Room. Definitely the best free experience, not game, that has probably come out on PSVR. Period. You can correct me if I'm wrong,
Took me a
but
second.
that's gonna be Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh, yeah.
Virtual reality experience. I have always said I hated when superhero movies were cheesy and stuff. I know that's like popular for them to be cheesy and people love that. And like I've always been bothered when they show the superhero that learns their power and they go, woohoo! And the first thing I did when I played this was I jumped off the building and I couldn't even help it. I'm just like, woohoo! And I'm like, I get it now. Like, I totally get it. Because Insomniac being bought by Sony now, I'm wondering if they're going to make a Spider-Man VR game at some point.
I mean, I really wouldn't be surprised because, like, Iron Man is a step in the right direction as far as Marvel goes in VR games because nobody really liked that much what is it called? Powers United or something that they had on PC VR. It was just like, okay. Nobody was really blown away by it. But this one, from all the initial, feedback, seems like it's going to be really, really damn good. And if you remember the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like Iron Man was one of the first entries in what we think of as the MCU. So I think if they keep that up and just take everything into VR the same way they did with the movies, we are in line for some really cool shit. Because Spider-Man VR, a full game, would obviously be really, really good.
Right.
I'm excited for the future of this stuff. Because Sony obviously has some stake in Marvel stuff, although I guess Disney owns it all now. Fuck.
I don't think they own Spider-Man.
They don't own Spider-Man, so that's good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I'd like to see what they can do with this on PS5, honestly.
Thank God for that, too. Sorry, I was going to say thank God that Sony still owns Spider-Man and not Disney because they own everything, and sometimes it doesn't always work out right. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
I feel like this might be, I know it's a free experience and everything, but I feel like this might actually be as far as they could take the Spider-Man experience on PlayStation 4. Like, hey, here's a huge, open world city, Manhattan replica.
No, they could do way better than this. If it was a full price game or even a $30 game, it would be much better than this because like the gameplay, the mechanics feels good, but it's very bare bones as far as the presentation. Like if you go down to the street, there's like 3 of the same character models standing on every street corner. I'm still saying like
it's not monumental.
Better. This is not the pinnacle of what they could do. Right. It's the pinnacle of what they could do for a free game.
But also don't forget that anything that plays on the PlayStation 4 Pro has to play on the OG PS4, and that is some outdated tech right now. They could make this better, but I don't want to see what they can do on PlayStation 4. I want to see what they can do with this on PlayStation 5. Drop down the street.
Sorry.
Not at all.
Calvin Smith says, I'm no Danny, but keep up the great content. AJ, let's hit up Farpoint Co-op sometime soon. Yes. Happy holidays to us PSVR fans. And he said, thanks, Brian, AJ, and Dave.
Hell yeah,
very much, Calvin.
What's your PSN? Add me. I'm God Cannon. I'll send it now.
Yeah.
Nice. Anyway, let's move on.
All right, amazing experience. Hope to see another one soon. Now, what month are we in? We are in July.
Are
Oh,
we halfway
Jesus.
through yet? Jesus Christ.
We are getting closer. I'm starting to skip
So
a
you
bunch
gotta
now.
skip a bunch of stuff. Man.
Yeah, I'm starting to skip
Let's
a
get
bunch
to the
of
good stuff
a
and the
bunch
bad
of-
stuff.
Sirento VR.
Ooh, one of the best. Very good.
Overpriced,
I think arguably
but very good.
not overpriced. There's so much content. There's a lot of stuff to do there. There's stuff to unlock. There's upgrades. There's like loot, which I love. And I think the locomotion system is arguably one of the best, coolest, most fun locomotion systems in VR. If you've
One of
got
the best combat systems.
No, the locomotion itself, man. Like jumping off a wall and then hopping to the floor at high speed and then sliding past a guy.
Jumping and double jumping and triple jumping and quadruple jumping and backflips and
freedom.
Flips. Yeah.
It's like a playground. And once you get the hang of it, it is so goddamn fun.
I know I said it was overpriced, but
I think it's overpriced too.
I think it is, but that being said, it's so good though. It really is amazing, and I've replayed it Christmas actually, and man, I mean, he's right. That locomotion system is amazing, so much fun. I wish it did have some more meat on it. I love it's Brian. What did we were talking about this the other day, where you have like a million different weapons you can choose, but then like that's it. Like it's got multiplayer, it's got some campaign stuff, but really, the meat of the game is just having different weapons to choose from, and that is the meat of the game.
Yeah,
I mean, for me, I stuck with the same weapon almost the whole time, and I had a really good time with it. Like that, I've said this a million times here, but the scythe that's on a chain.
Yes,
I can't remember. It's the Kusanagi, or it's got some name in Japanese. I can't remember, but it's so goddamn fun.
Dude,
I just love that game.
It's amazing.
Somebody is saying that they got Sirento. Vash to Danish said he got it for $15 at GameStop.
That works really well.
Physical, like $15 physical. That's awesome.
I think when you look at what Sirento is actually doing, yes, it gives you this amazing locomotion system, tons of upgrades, and tons of weapons to use. But man, at the core of it, I feel like it's a $20 game, and I love this game. I just wish it didn't launch at such a high price point.
I think it's a $20 game on the surface, but then once you realize the depth behind it, like there's all those different weapons and upgrades, and some weapons have specific runes that you can put in them or whatever. Like there's all that sort of
there's tons to do.
Diablo style, is it orange, blue, yellow, whatever, green. And then you start getting into the idea of souping yourself up. Right. And that gives you a reason to keep playing.
But then the levels are so small and so repetitive.
There's not a lot of.
I don't think they're that repetitive. I mean, the enemies aren't that different. I'll give you that.
I'll also say the campaign is almost throwaway. I thought the campaign was very lackluster.
It's a good intro to the game. It's an intro to the game, essentially. Yeah. The challenge modes are better.
Yes.
The sort of replayable, and they're kind of randomized. Like they have different modifiers. You can't do this, or this does extra damage, or something like that.
Decepticon comes in with a hot take. Quest version is so much better than PSVR. I've never heard anybody say that.
Decepticon.
I don't think that's true. That's so not true.
I've heard the levels in the Quest are terrible.
Yeah.
The reason I don't like the Quest one as much is because you have to physically duck to slide. I'm lazy. I want to press a button.
You have options for it, but I do want to highlight. So this game is $26 right now.
On sale, yeah.
I can still recommend it for $26. $30 was the price point. I always said.
Well, it was more than $30 at launch. I think it's $38 regular price.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's too expensive.
Yeah, it's $37. It's $37. It's
$37.99. $38.
I liked it, but
forget the price though. A good game's a good game.
As far as good prices on physicals, Huge Chrome Peach says, as we heard before, Sirento is $15 at GameStop. Astrobot is $10.
Yeah.
If you don't have Astrobot, go to the fucking GameStop.
Yeah.
Like they're not even closed. They close at like 9 or 10. Go there right now. Stop watching or watch on your phone. Buy Astrobot for $10.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
I do want to bring some light on Battlewake because it's actually on sale for $14.99 right now.
All right.
Okay.
And I think it's worth $14.99. I think the other pirate game like Table of Tales, that's really cool. This game has kind of a similar thing as Sirento where it has an amazing combat system, amazing, immediately satisfying game, lots of fun. But then it just kind of runs out of steam.
Really
after, in terms of like meat. But I still think it's an awesome game. and a really great experience as well.
And for the price that it's currently going for, definitely pick it up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
15 bucks for
absolutely.
that. It's pretty damn good.
What's the normal price? 30?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little tough.
The only thing I wish about that game, really, is that there was more variation in the campaign stuff, and there was more than one multiplayer level. The fact that you're stuck with just one multiplayer level is sort of
PvP level.
That's what I mean, PvP. The
Right.
co-op, you can play campaign.
co-op,
That's multiplayer as well. I mean PvP, you're right. But yeah, I don't know. It is such a fun game to play, though. It feels really good. Pulling on those handbrakes with the chains and stuff, doing those tight turns and shooting a guy, blowing him up. It feels great. But once again, Servios makes great games that never get in the top 20. So it's good, very good, but
PSVR Lifehack says, is Battlewake Servio Studios' worst game? No, I'd probably say Raw Data.
Whoa. No.
Servios?
Yeah, I love Raw Data. I think Raw Data
Well,
belongs in
I
the
do
top
too,
of
but
those.
it's a little buggy, though.
Out of anything,
buggy.
comments-wise, like I saw a lot of comments on our top 20 that says, where the hell is Raw Data? Like a lot of people
I
are
agree with
saying,
them.
I love Raw Data. Yeah. And I think before our next top 20, I'm going to go back and play that again. Because it's been like literally years since I played Raw Data.
The true answer is Servios doesn't have a bad game.
Well, that is true.
Yeah, that's true.
I think if you're rating games,
I like all their games.
I think Electronauts, as far as a game,
yeah,
Electronauts is
so good,
right? It's awesome at what it does,
so.
right? But that's like it's not really a game. It's like
But I've had so much fun with it. For what it is, it's beautiful.
I know.
It's
I
awesome.
loved Electronauts, but I'm like, if we're saying what's their worst game, if we're using the definition of game as a game,
well, if you're saying it's not a game, then you can't call it their worst game, right?
I guess that's also true.
But yeah, Battlewake. If you're gonna grab it now while it's $15. Another game I want to give some love to, man. Witching Tower VR, which came out September 17th.
Oh, we're already at September.
We are in September.
Moving right along.
I think Witching Tower is really underrated. I appreciate it. I don't think a lot of people realize. Now, it got a bad rap at first because people were saying, well, the combat's not good. I disagree. I don't think there's anything wrong with the combat. I think the AI was not the greatest, but there's still parts in the game where the AI is serviceable and it works just fine. It's just when it comes to big bad bosses, there's nothing special about the combat. But man, what a cool, beautiful dark fantasy game. I think that's why I like it so much. It's because it is like a dark fantasy and it's spooky.
Yeah, when we were talking earlier about like the wizards and saying, isn't the real problem like that? It's not Skyrim, right? That Skyrim already mastered this. This is one of those games that, you could easily look at it and go, oh, it's just trying to be Skyrim. But man, it does what it's doing very, very well, and it's very not Skyrim at all. So this one is definitely worth a look. It launched at 20. 3 hours or so? How much time did you guys get?
It's like 3.5.
I know we're not still talking about Electronauts, but Rody just said it's on sale for $5. $5
for Electronauts.
You don't have Electronauts,
right?
And I will say, as far as stuff to put on at a party or if you got friends,
unless you hate techno music, then don't get it.
But there's a lot of varieties of electronic music compared to Beat Saber or something. There's a lot of varieties.
It's all
of music
electronic
there.
And there was a huge update that added so much more music.
For free. Absolutely free.
Hello. Welcome.
But I mean,
hopefully no one took what I said to be derogatory.
Yeah, we like
against
all
Electronauts.
Servios games.
I love Electronauts. So if for $5, everyone should have that.
It's a no-brainer.
I disagree with you, AJ, about Witching Tower. I think that the combat is very lackluster.
It is.
I think when you hit one of those one-hit enemies or two-hit enemies, there's nothing that feels very good about that. I don't blame the developers for implementing it. I think it adds something to do when you're walking from one place to another. If you're just walking from one puzzle to another, it would get kind of boring. Adding a little bit of combat, it spices things
I'm not
up
saying the combat is a highlight, but it's no, I agree. I love the atmosphere. I love the characters, the atmosphere, the characters. I even like the puzzles in the game. It was kind of like Red Matter in a little way. I don't want to get too spoilery because there's like some amazing puzzles that I thought were pretty amazing towards the end.
Yeah.
The final kind of puzzles, were like, poof. But it's not a combat game. It's a puzzle It's a puzzle game, and it's all about the puzzles and atmosphere, but it has some combat in it.
The combat's just a
pretty
bonus.
sweet.
Enjoy it for what it is, but it's very simple.
But so next, I just want to give a shout out to that. I don't know, maybe other sales going on right now. You know, if you got nothing else to play, it's absolutely worth $20. LA Noire, the VR case files, which was fierce and first debuted during a state of play, and out of nowhere, they're like, this game is available right meow. Also on sale for $22.49 right now. Fellas, what do you think?
I think LA Noire it's got its problems, but it's cool, and it does things that you wouldn't expect. Like at the beginning, there's all these loading screens, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then as soon as you get in the car and you can traverse the whole city, there are no loading screens, and you can just freely drive around this pretty big city. And it's got that like GTA kind of feel, or like Rockstar feel, where you just run into people and they're like, fuck you, you can do whatever you want. It's kind of freeform.
Yeah.
And I always liked LA Noire when it came out originally. It's a cool concept, that kind of interrogating people, police work thing. And the motion capture still holds up. Like, those are some of the best facial animations in VR, just because they had great facial animations back when they made it. So yeah, I think it's a pretty solid buy, but it's probably not for everybody. It's a little clunky. Brian, what do you think?
It's not a little clunky. It's ridiculously clunky. The controls are fucking hot trash in LA Noire.
It takes so long to figure it out.
And once you figure it out, man, it just does not feel very good at all. Like even the smooth turning uses the one thing that we've always talked about.
Don't use smooth turning in that game. It's terrible.
It's slow, and it uses acceleration, which is the one thing all developers have always agreed on, saying acceleration is what causes people to feel motion sickness. And so even the smooth turning starts off slow and then speeds up. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, this is ridiculous. And every single thing that I try to do in that game, I'm like, what am I reaching for? What button do I use to do these simple little tasks? It's just so, it's convoluted, and it's so not, I mean, whatever your instincts tell you are wrong as far as the controls go. And so it's one of those things that, like, throughout the course of the entire game, you struggle with the controls, and you never acclimate to them. And so luckily everything else is really good. And I guess it kind of makes up for it. That's my thought.
So I would say that's one of the good games. Not the best games, but a good game.
Very good game.
Decent,
yeah, I think take away the controls, the awful controls. I still love seeing Rockstar get their feet wet in VR. And it gives you a taste of what like a Grand Theft Auto could be. It's a slow-paced game. It has bad controls, but besides that, it's super immersive and really just neat is the word that I want to use for this. Guys, I'll be 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Next up is your choice, either Carly and the Reaperman or Warzone.
Let's talk Warzone. Let's go Warzone.
All right.
Okay.
Dave, you want to take us away?
This is a game that looked from the trailers like it might be kind of exciting, might be kind of fun.
Yeah.
It gives you that idea that maybe you're playing like a single player, first-person shooter, military style that is actually decent, which we don't have many of. Besides the recent update for Honor and Duty, there's not really many military style first-person shooters that you can play in single player. But it is so bad. Like, you go in and there's this massive stage that they don't give you really any direction, and there's like a guy way off in the distance that can one-shot you before you even see him, and then you have to start the whole damn thing over. And it's just, it doesn't look good, it doesn't play well.
And what happens when you have to start it over, Dave? Very frequently,
you get spawn killed by these motherfuckers who suddenly are right on your spawn point, and as soon as I pop in, pop, and there's nothing you can do. Hard to Get says, how did it pass Sony QA? Good point. It's actually fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Justin says it was sold as a multiplayer only game on PC, which I feel like if it was multiplayer, it actually could be good on PSVR, because the maps aren't bad. They're big.
Yep.
There's a lot of area to cover. There's a lot of buildings to hide out in.
Yeah.
If you were playing multiplayer. As a single player game, it is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
What do you think?
They tried to get Sin Studio tried to get multiplayer working. Didn't pass Sony's certification, so they just stripped it out entirely. That was their solution, and I think that is a lazy solution. That is the worst solution, especially when the single player element of it. And I know you kind of said this, but it's a single player game without a single player mode.
There's no campaign.
There's no campaign.
It's just like it's just walk and shoot, and there's no reason. You don't know what you're doing, why, where you're supposed to go.
Yeah,
it's just I don't know.
Right, and all you're doing the entire time is for every kill you're gaining money, and then you're just unlocking more weapons, and none of the weapons are all that impactful, and so there's really what you're left with is literally nothing to do except to be frustrated at every single time you die, and that's not fun. And this is and it was $15. Like if this thing was $5, I'd still go, oof, I don't know, but 15 is highway.
I mean,
robbery.
I'll say for $5, Deadland is better than this game. Deadland
agreed.
is better than this game. I don't like it, but it's better.
Yeah.
And also for $5, Electronauts takes the cake as the game you should buy right now for $5.
Also for $5, Star Bear Taxi.
Oh, actually, I think is it on sale? It's on sale on Steam. I don't know if it's on sale on PSN.
Like it was only $5 to begin with, right? I'm curious to know.
Yeah.
Here, let me check real quick.
Star Bear Taxi, if you guys don't know, I don't think it came out in 2019.
Nope, November 6, 2018. It is still $5, not on sale here in North America.
Okay, well, still worth $5. I like that game.
So
So
I guess
AJ has disappeared.
Harley and the Reaper Man, then? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, sure.
All right. What
You
was
can
your...
go first on this one.
Okay. I mean, as far as like a third-person platformer goes, this is about... I think more than any other third-person game that we have on PlayStation VR, this is about as puzzle platformery as it gets, right? It's super heavy focus on the puzzle element. So if you like your platform games to be straight platform games with maybe some puzzle elements, this game isn't for you because this is almost all puzzle once you get to like the second world. And it's very difficult puzzles too. It gets real hard real fast. Don't you agree, AJ?
I totally agree. And I just got to say that I disagree with you about saying Warzone is a single player game without single player. It's a multiplayer game without multiplayer and no single player.
That makes more sense.
It's a piece of shit. It sucks ass. It is almost, there's a tie for the worst game of the year. It is definitely between Warzone and one that we'll get to very shortly.
Oh, I know which one that is.
Yeah, just absolute turd of a game. Avoid it at all costs. It's just sad that people are probably going to buy it, and it's a disgrace to PlayStation VR and should have never been released. But it was a
different game.
Shameless cash grab.
I feel
What's
awful.
the other game?
I feel awful while you're saying this while the Carly and the Reaper Man trailer is playing. I'm like, don't mistake what he's saying for this.
Oh
game.
yes, no, I love Carly and the Reaper Man.
There we go.
Actually, a very rated. Glad you brought. Only $20. I played this game for maybe 8 to 10 hours, and I could play more. And it's also asymmetrical gameplay to where you can play it one person. It's one of the few games that works with one person in VR, one person on the screen, and it's pretty badass, man. I don't know why more people don't like or don't talk about Carly and the Reaper Man. To be honest with you.
That's a good question.
But I don't know if you like platformers, like, I don't want to compare it to Astrobot because Astrobot's like,
Right.
leagues ahead. But, it's an amazing platformer, and it's really challenging too. And I love challenging platformers. That's a shit that I grew up on. So Carly and the Reaper Man, absolutely awesome game to me. And they did do some tweaks to it. So if you played it before and thought it was too hard, they thought it was just okay. They tweaked it. Sorry.
Nice. All right, we can move on while we're waiting for Dave to come back.
Yeah, I do want to give a shout out to Minotaur Arcade Volume 1, Jeff Minter's game. Jeff Minter, as most people know, made Polybius, and they're huge fans of him and what he does. And I agree. Funny enough, I was actually more excited for Goat Up. Which it's one of two games. There's Grid Runner and Goat Up. I was more excited for Goat Up, and I got absolutely hooked to Grid Runner. I love arcade games like that, and it's really, really fun and addicting to play and challenging and you can get further and further.
Yeah, I'll second Grid Runner. I think it's got a lot of mechanics that aren't immediately obvious, And as you play more, you're like, oh wait, there's a lot going on in this game. It's not a simple Galaga shooter kind of thing. There's a lot going on, and it's really fun.
Yeah.
Goat Up, not as much, but still kind of cool. It's got that Jeff Minter spin on it, where everything's sort of off kilter and interesting and weird.
The Jeff Minter spin where everything's about farm animals.
Yes, pretty much.
You know, I don't know if you guys agree with this, but personally, this is how I feel. I feel like Polybius is more of a better VR implemented game, like something better for VR. But to me personally, I like the gameplay of Grid Runner more. But I still think both are great. Both are awesome.
Think Polybius is maybe a little simpler, but it's still really difficult. But the mechanics are a little simpler than Grid Runner. Personally, Polybius is, for me, his best game in VR by a mile.
I think most people would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is fine. I think Grid Runner is. I don't think there's going to be a lot of people who didn't grow up with these classic arcade games that would be interested in it. Like maybe people who would be interested in Polybius. Grid Runner combines like at least 4 different well-known classic arcade games from when I was growing up, and that's what got me enjoying the game and feeling really nostalgic for what I was doing. I was like, wow, this game is a little bit of Centipede, this game is a little bit of Robotron, this game's a little Galaga. It's like combines all these different games into one, and I love that. But I don't think people maybe as old as us or as old as me are going to really enjoy it for quite as much.
I mean, that's the whole pull with Jeff Minter games, because he made like Tempest 2000 and all these, Atari style games, arcade style games that have a very specific look and feel. And if you're into that retro kind of throwback thing, this is like gold. Maybe not this
has like a more
this
universal appeal.
But yeah. I think so too. Yeah.
All right, we got to move on.
Bonfire. This is a short experience. It's for $2.50 right now, and
that's cheap.
It's originally only $5, and I would love it at $5 anyways. And look, this game is only 15 minutes long.
Doesn't it have a platinum trophy?
It does have a platinum trophy.
That's worth it right there. It's worth it right there.
If you're a platinum trophy hunter like me, so you definitely want Bonfire. It's an easy one to get. This game was so charming, and like it's got the sci-fi setting. The art style reminded me of Maniac Mansion, Day of the Tentacle kind of deal. It kind of like reminded me of that a little bit, and it's just got that goofy, cartoony look. The voice acting, I think, was her name like Ali Wong or something.
It's Ali Wong.
It's got 2 different endings, but man, for a 15-minute game, I really enjoyed this a lot.
Yeah,
15-minute experience.
The kind of opposite of the PlayStation tax we hear about, where stuff gets ported and it's more expensive on PSVR. This is actually cheaper on PSVR than it is on other platforms. I think it was like $10 on Quest when I first saw it. So for $5 or $2.50, it's kind of a pretty solid deal, I would say.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah. When I saw the preview for this, I was like, oh, God. I'm like, I want nothing to do with this. I don't want to play it. I'm like, I don't care if it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20. I just don't want to. Especially since you just saw in the trailer, it said, from the people who brought you Crow, the Legend. I'm like, fuck that game. I don't like Crow. It felt like a 360 video. I didn't feel good in it. I didn't enjoy the animation. People are like, oh, it's like Pixar. It's like, I don't agree with that. I think Crow is terrible. And then this, I was like, oh, wow. The second I got in there, I had a blast with it. And I immediately played it twice. Yes, Rody in the chat.
Yep, I totally agree.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yep. You shouldn't. I didn't like the Crow the Legend. I didn't like Invasion.
I liked Invasion. I thought Invasion was cute.
It had a pointless story. This actually had like a meaningful story to some degree, and so that's why. But I freaking love this thing. I think everybody should go try it. I think it's an example of how to make experiences good, because for the first year or two, most experiences were garbage.
SB in the chat says, I don't think there are pro games that run at higher frame rates, are there? Yeah, there are actually plenty of games that run at higher frame rates on the Pro.
Yeah, not every game, though, but definitely some. Next up, we've got Brian and I's one of our favorite games of the year, Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion. Now, before we get started, I got to tell you, Brian was actually, we talked on the phone, and he told me that he was so excited for this game. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm excited for it, kind of, because it's a new VR game, but I don't really care. He streamed it, and he was so excited when he was streaming it. And I was like, why is he so excited?
Because it's so much fun.
I ended up loving this game because if you like indie games, this is the perfect like feel of like what an indie game in VR is. Like, I don't know. But it was actually kind of creepy at times, and there's like a Silent Hill hospital that you can explore. But essentially it's like a game where you try to run through like 1,000 rooms, and every couple of rooms something starts chasing you, and there's kind of like a strategy to each. But man, I didn't think I was going to like this game, and this is definitely like one of my favorite games of the year for sure.
Okay.
And it's only $10.
Yeah,
It's only
a
$10,
good price.
Right. So if anybody doesn't know the details on this, you basically given this mansion, the original game that you get to play through, there's 3 different modes. The original game you get to play through starts you off, and you start off at room 0, and you have to get through 1,000 rooms to get to the end of the game, to the end of the mansion to get out. And at first, it's very, very simple. It's just like, oh, here's a small room with a door on one end and a door on the other. You run from door to door, and like, oh, there's another room. Check it off the list. And then you're like, well, 999 more to go. Right, and then like it starts throwing these like cardboard cutouts at you, like they jump out from the wall, and like it's silly, stupid jump scares. But for me, they were still effective because when you're running down a hallway, you know, and not really paying attention, and something jumps out at you, it's a jump scare. But it's kind of, and it makes you laugh because you're like, I just got scared at this stupid silly
from a fucking
cutout.
piece of toast.
Right,
I got scared from a piece of toast,
Right.
man. I was like, I actually live streamed the entire game, and I was like, I'm not going to let anything get me or whatever.
Sirens on my end, Nick Mulo, who's driving and listening to this at the same time. Those are sirens on my end. So sorry.
He might also be getting pulled over simultaneously. We never know.
Look in your rear
Yeah,
view.
make sure you check. But no, I absolutely adore this game. I think it's really underrated. I wish more people would give it a try at $10 because yeah, it's really damn good. And like I said, it looks like the hospital is like a Silent Hill game in like an indie kind of Mario looking cartoony way.
Right. And despite the fact that it looks so primitive and uses the same graphics engine that you're seeing here now, it's somehow really effective. And I'm not quite sure how they pulled that off so well.
Right. But excellent game. Everybody really needs to check it out. Actually, do not miss it. It's totally worth it. If you like small indie games, then yeah, you should definitely give it a shot. I also love the arcade that you find randomly.
Oh yeah,
like
fun.
every
That's
300 fun. Levels or so.
It's a nice touch.
You'll randomly find like an arcade machine that you can play, and there's like 3 mini games that were pretty cool. But next we have another goodie, and this is kind of a bigger game, and that's gonna be Harmonix Audica.
Oh yeah, that actually just got some DLC the other day, didn't it? There's like a few new songs, one of which has Kendrick Lamar on it, which I'm definitely going to get like as soon as possible. That's one of those things with Beat Saber. It's like, give me some Kendrick Lamar. I would buy that immediately. You want metal. I want hip hop, AJ. But yeah, Brian, why don't you start us off?
I think everybody's well aware at this point that I didn't like Audica from the get-go. I had a horrible live stream where I was like, this isn't any fun. I'm not interested in this at all. And the more I played, the less I liked it. And then finally, I gave it a chance on a harder difficulty, and something roped me in. On advanced difficulty, I got real addicted to this to the point where I like Audica more than I like Beat Saber.
Let go of me.
Real quick.
Unhand me.
Sorry, I know AJ was about to take his shirt off. You should go all the way, AJ.
No, I was showing.
I'm
you
just
got
fucking with you.
gold
I'm just fucking
yogurt.
with you.
My
I'm just
Jupiter
fucking
Mars
with you.
shirt.
We got Piff and Yanni's. Take it off, man. We got $50.
And Piff and Yanni's is
late
an
again.
awesome name, I have to say. I love that.
I know
It is. Hey,
that's my line. I like the name Piff and Yanni's.
Go fuck
Well,
yourself.
Nobody else is allowed
Let's
to.
not fight
Not
over
as
it.
much as I do.
We all
This.
love Piff and Yanni's name.
I love Piff and
Yes.
Yanni's.
This is the one thing we can agree on.
Yep.
He says, oops, late again. Here's my late fee and Merry Xmas in a non-religious way to all game cats. Yeah. Thank you so much, Piffin.
Thank you. I love you. So basically, what I was trying to say is that like it took me a very, very long time. Whereas like Beat Saber, you step into Beat Saber and immediately you go, "Oh my god, my move controllers are lightsabers!" You touch them together, they vibrate. You're like, you're drawing in the stand that you're standing on. The second, even on easy, that you slice through a block, it feels good. I don't think Audica has that initial, oh my god, feeling. And so it took me a long time to get into it. And then once I discovered that advanced mode or whatever the fuck difficulty that was, advanced difficulty, was perfect for me, Whereas like I could just play one song over and over and over and over, but and get a little bit further every single time. I found a loop that I really, really enjoyed, to the point where, again, I do like Audica more than Beat Saber. But the same way I don't recommend Immortal Legacy over Blood and Truth, I don't recommend Audica over Beat Saber either.
Yeah, I mean that makes
fair.
sense. I agree with you on that. I think the big thing that Audica has going for it is that it has that song Gold Dust. AJ, you know what I'm talking about.
Good. Gold
Nice.
Dust is
Gold
probably the best song.
Actually, my favorite song, another PSVR game with definitely big shout out to Just Incredible for pointing out that song when I was streaming.
Also, shout out to Just Incredible that says Starship Disco.
It's nothing like Starship Disco.
It's exactly the same game.
But it's much better.
It is much better.
It has
Would you
very.
say you like Starship Disco better than Beat Saber? Huh?
I think
Yeah,
no,
see?
not even close.
It's not the same.
I have two things that I agree that Beat Saber has the better visual style, the better flashiness and stuff. Even maybe I don't know, lots of different things that are different. But what I loved about Audica the most was the song list. I loved having the Transistor soundtrack on there, having Gold Dust, having a lot of other songs that were like really I was like rocking out to and having a lot of fun. I love the track listing. I haven't really picked up any of the DLC, so I don't know about the DLC, but I did like the majority of the songs more than Beat Sabers at first. But they're both kind of different to me. I don't know.
The lighting in Dave's apartment just got real atmospheric.
Yeah, no, I'm switching it up. We've been in the light for too long. Back to the Future, lad.
Whoa.
£1 or euro or whatever. He has no message.
Dude,
but
where
thank you,
the
Back to the Future
fuck
lad.
have you been, Back to the Future, lad? I feel like it's been a year since I've seen your name.
He just got
Future
back from the
lad.
future, motherfucker. He's been in the future.
I
He-
know.
How does that
man,
affect
what do you
us?
think?
That doesn't affect
Marty!
us. People.
Marty,
Oh my god. No, I used to see Back to the Future lad all
what
the
the
time.
hell is a gigawatt?
I always forgot where he was from. He's from like Scotland or England or someplace in Europe. I have no idea.
All right. So Audica is awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's worth the $29.99,
Yeah.
but maybe go check out the songs that are on the DLC before you get those. But
Yeah, for me, like the DLC is hit and miss, but you can buy it individually. Like in that first pack, I really like, as much as I don't listen to Post Malone in my everyday life, that Post Malone
Right.
song, I actually really like playing. It feels fun. I enjoy it. The second DLC pack didn't have much that I enjoyed, but the third one that just came out has some stuff I'm really interested in. So it seems like they're going to have a little bit of something for everybody in a way that maybe Beat Saber hasn't done as well. Harmonix is always obviously really good with sourcing music, licensing music. For decades, they've been good at that. So
I gotta say too,
I would
I
expect more
love
from that in the future.
I love being able to spin the guns and flip and throw the guns
That's
and catch
true.
them.
Yeah.
That is probably any game that I play. Like I'm playing Blood and Truth, and like I'm playing the rhythm game, and I'm wanting to spin it, and it's not as smooth as Audica was because that's so like just integrated so seamlessly, so smooth or whatever. But man, being able to spin the guns, I think every single game, especially rhythm games, you need to be able to like spin your guns or do stuff like that because that's just amazing. Now, we're going to talk about, in my opinion,
got?
probably the third worst
Ideas,
game of the
yeah.
year.
Hmm.
This piece of crap that should have never even existed, and that's going to be Reborn, a Samurai Awakens.
Ooh, God. The game that you can't play without getting 7 blue screens in the first 2 hours.
So bad.
It's just, it was so poorly optimized, so poorly ported. It's just a bad game? I don't know.
I mean, there's nothing redeeming about it.
Yeah.
Nothing.
It throws a million of the same. It makes you fight the same enemies 10,000 times, and they're so dumb. There's no AI. It's literally just a freaking body right there that you just shoot, and it walks left to right, and it doesn't do anything. And
I mean, the two things I want in a samurai game are good combat. And first of all, this has that waggly, sort of terrible, not fun combat where you just go like this a bunch and a guy dies eventually. Nothing
Right.
happens. But then the second thing that I've only seen one game that does this, but if you're a samurai, when you slice a guy in half, there should be a moment where it pauses and then you see him split into two parts.
Oh, yeah.
That's like quintessential samurai shit.
Metal Gear Rising
And
right there.
Oh,
Metal
yes.
Gear Rising. The one I'm thinking of on Quest that does it is Ninja Legends, I think. You can slice people in half and it does that thing. It's pretty fun. But it's just, it doesn't satisfy any of the things you'd be looking for in a samurai game.
No.
At all.
In fact,
like Sirento
running
is
this-
way, way better.
Running this trailer is even like, I don't even feel good about it because this trailer makes the game look amazing. It makes it look like there's all sorts of crazy, cool movements and flips and awesome Sirento things you can do. But meanwhile, the actual game features almost no locomotion, right? Because all the game lets you do is walk from one place where you stand still to another place where you have to stand still until you kill all the enemies, to another place where you have to stand still until you kill all the enemies. It's like, well, at this point, why'd you even give me the ability to walk at all? So I'm going to actually bring up my my review instead because I don't like. I think we're selling this game poorly.
While you're doing that, we got a
Fuck you!
fuck you for Johnny Brightpap the Stray Cat. I don't mean that.
What's up, Johnny?
With his $7 Canadian, it's probably like $1 in American money, but he said breathtaking peeps their Spark tourney in February. So if you guys go to the Discord, Rhodey just posted the link.
Nice.
We set up these tournaments for Game Cats, and Spark tournament is coming in February. Details coming soon. He says, stay breathtaking, Brian, AJ, and Dave, and happy Festivus for the rest of us.
Happy
Thank
Festivus.
You guys
Johnny.
want to air some grievances? I guess we have been airing
I want my
grievances
bag of chocolate milk.
Guys, if anyone who is watching this and is not part of the Discord server, I mean, definitely click the link in the description. I know Rhodey had posted it. It is where we all hang out and chit chat pretty much 24/7, and like the conversation that we're having right now basically just continues there all the time. So
Not only that, but we got news channels, we got multiplayer meetups. Everybody, I saw people earlier saying like, "Oh, Spark this or that," or Touring Carts doesn't have can't find anybody online. Go to the Discord, you will find people for sure.
Yeah.
And if not, message me and I will join you.
yeah, absolutely. Spark and Touring Cart sounds like a great way to spend my January.
Turning the tournament with Racket Fury was a lot of fun. That was really good stuff. All right, moving on. Sorry. So next we got Golem, which came out.
Oh, I hear that's a good one.
And yes, and I am in fact a big fan of Golem. I love the combat system mainly. I love the blocking. We talk about games where they have bad combat systems where you have a weapon and you block or you just sit there and waggle your hand. I love Golem for being the first game to actually have a blocking and counterattack mechanic, and it feels so good. And the game is gorgeous looking, and it's also like 6.5 hours to 10 hours, even more for some.
Did you want to hit that for us?
Sorry, I'm in the chat arguing about whether rap and country are valid genres of music, and I'll just say it out loud. But I'll hit this first. Hold on.
Get out of here!
We got Jens Wisbaka
It
with
might
the
be
old
Jens.
Jens. Oh yeah, he might be
What's up, Jens?
Swedish.
Yeah.
Those are Swedish kroners,
Jens
aren't
has
they?
been around for
So
a while.
Jens Lekman.
No, those are Sekirios.
Sekiro.
Oh, Sekiros. Yeah, there we go. 50 Sekiros.
Says
And he
greetings to all.
greetings to all.
Greetings
And
right
I just
back
want
to you,
say,
sir.
Greetings, Jens.
don't
Jens-
talk shit
Jens
about
been around for a
genres
while.
of music.
Long time.
Don't talk shit about genres of music. It's. I'm not going to be mean to anybody here, but I think having worked in a record store, if you listen to enough shit, you'll find something you relate to in any genre of music. And every genre of music is worth something and is worthwhile. And there's art and humanity and emotion and everything.
And Dave says, "Don't talk shit
That's
about
all I'm saying.
genres of music."
And even if
Pretty
you don't,
much.
and even if
I-
you don't
I
find
just-
it redeeming, other people do. So that's let
there's,
everyone enjoy
you
what
know,
they enjoy.
One of my pet peeves is people saying I like all music except rap and country, which means they don't actually care about music. To me, like if you say I like everything except for these two poor people genres of music, because essentially rap and country have this connotation of being like the kind of we won't get into it right now.
I think-
but I'm
I
just
think we're
saying,
getting
I
into it
have
right now.
thoughts about this.
Let's move
I have
on.
thoughts about this.
We can
Let's-
take
All right.
we can take that to
Yeah,
Discord after we're done.
Where are we? Man, Golem's still not available in Australia. All that Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion is not available
Yeah.
in Australia or EU. I got to message them, man. Be like,
Please.
what the hell's going on? Like, when is that going to happen?
And really, folks, everybody out there who lives in Australia or lives in somewhere where certain games aren't available, seriously think about, consider, it takes minutes to do. Create a North American account. You can buy North American PlayStation gift cards on Play Asia, on what's the site you always use, AJ, which is actually becoming my most used?
CGM.
That's the one I use too. Yeah, I use
SEAGM.
So
that's the best one.
And so you
the
can,
best one.
You just charge up your account on your new North American account with some U.S. gift cards, and man, it's like suddenly you never have to complain about not getting another game again. You can play all those games on your current country's profile as long as you set that to your primary account, and so you still
it is worth it.
It'll still add to your trophy list. Everything. This is the way to go. Stop letting Sony. Different territories of Sony tell you what games you
fight back to Sony. We got to fight back to Sony, man. We got to take the fight to them.
First thing you buy, maybe Horror Sense, maybe
Daru
Horror
Masan
Sense.
got caught on da.
Daru Masan got caught on da.
Rogue TR, our resident.
Oh, Rogue's here. What's up, Rogue?
What's up, Rogue?
Yeah, I have an Australian account. I have a Japanese account. I have a Chinese account. I have a European account. Everything. It is a lot easier than
have a Vincent account.
But
have a Visa account, MasterCard.
But yeah, so moving on. Golem, fantastic game, must-have game. I gave it an 8.5 because I do reviews now. I give it an 8.5, which I originally said 9. Yep. And I actually smirked, or like I gave Dave the stink eye when he said 8.5. But now that the new release high has kind of worn off, I'm like, yeah, okay, 8.5 is fair.
I give it a 9. I'm going to start giving scores. 9.
Yeah.
Just all of a sudden, spontaneously.
Just now, as
we were talking about it.
Yeah, I've been talking about it for a year.
IGN,
actually,
guys.
I've been talking about it for about a year now, and it's.
Are you really going to do that?
I am, yeah, and I would definitely give Golem a 9. It's amazing.
Okay,
yeah.
I mean, after the patch,
I'm not insane. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10. Fucking bullish ball.
No,
seriously.
The only thing, the only thing about Golem is that like. Enemy variety, like there was the golems wandering around the city, and then there's like those other creatures that wander around. And I would love to see like more of those kind of creatures. Make it a little bit more like a Souls game. I would like to see, and it would be amazing. Have different areas, like more diverse. There's a tunnel that you go into at the end of Golem, and it's not that like yellow sandy city, and it's beautiful. And I would love to just see them expand on that. More weapons. Bloodborne and stuff has like these crazy saw blades and all this stuff. I would love to see more weapons, get creative with it. But Golem, yeah. Brian says 9. I say 8.5. Polish Ball says 10 out of 10.
Because Polish Ball's insane.
Well, I don't blame Polish Ball's enthusiasm. I think I totally.
Paul,
I blame most of the world's problems.
He's usually here. He's probably working. So we have, in my opinion, the most disappointing game of the year. Right. I did a review on this game today, and that's going to be Aspire 1 VR Schmoperative.
That's a big, one of the worst launches too. Bad launch.
Really bad launch. And I would never call a developer lazy, but the truth is, I am shocked that at the state of this game and how slow they are. You guys remember like a month ago when we were talking about Dave, how there's a thing in the game that says hold your hand up to your head and press the trigger button. That's still there.
The report of this are so fucking lazy, and
it's not lazy. It's just something else is going on.
Hold on, listen to this. There was a separate company than the people who made the game who ported it, and those people.
You think it was Tripwire? You think it's Tripwire?
I'm not sure. It might have been Tripwire, but they did a good job on fucking Killing Floor. So
they did an amazing job on Killing Floor.
Yeah, and they made it better recently, actually. But what I'm saying is this fucking, I don't know. There's just something about this game.
I put all my thoughts. Yeah, go ahead.
It's incredibly boring from beginning to end. There's no reason to be stealthy whatsoever because, as AJ said in his review, you can just walk around punching people. You don't have to use ammo. Right, and there's just nothing fun about it. If your Metal Gear Solid inspired game allows you to just run around punching people and gives you no repercussions for not being stealthy, then you've failed at your mission of making a Metal Gear Solid inspired game.
1,000%.
I'm not saying that an indie game that costs $30 or whatever should live up to the standards set by Metal Gear Solid, but
I mean,
Don't compare your
I
game
don't-
to that.
first,
it's
yeah,
not as immersive, but if you want fucking Metal Gear Solid in VR, play like Control or something. Is
What
that what it's
I-
called? Not Control. What's that game? Oh, Volume.
but
Oh, yeah.
That's
I cut this out of my
Volume
review,
is a
but
stealth
essentially,
game. It's actually a stealth game.
I actually went
Volume's
really
good.
easy on them in the review. I wasn't easy with the score. I gave it a 5.5 because of the state it's in.
I would have
it's,
actually given it lower than that, to be honest with you.
Well, I can understand that, but I tried to be as fair as possible because I actually highlight a lot of good things that the game has, good ideas. But just in terms of the execution, the way the game is, it is an awful, awful stealth game. If you want an action game, if you want to feel like an action movie, go play Blood and Truth. If you want the real definitive stealth VR game, you go play The Persistence.
Yes,
Both of those games
absolutely.
are way, way better. Actually execute what they are set out to do. And I actually had to cut this out for my review, but I was like, don't you dare compare this game to Metal Gear Solid or GoldenEye 007. In fact, if you want an experience like that, go play GoldenEye and 007, or GoldenEye and Metal Gear Solid, because this is not that game at all. It has some influences from it, but there's nothing at all like it. There's no reward. There's no rewarding feeling. There's so many game-breaking bugs. There's so many unfinished textures. You'll see in the very first shot of the review, it's like this blurry box. This is post-update, too. This is post-graphics update. This game is awful. Very, very disappointing. And I do feel for them over there. I don't know what the hell happened with the game. Thank you, Albert. But I'm very disappointed in this game. This game was had all the hype behind it and just totally overpromised and underdelivered.
Yeah. And I mean, it's one of those things where you have a game that gets delayed so many times, and you expect that when they release it, it'll actually be fixed or polished or good or something worthwhile. Like Golem, for instance, we were like, this has been in development hell for so long, it's not going to be good when it drops, and it was. It's actually good. We were
completely
surprised.
wrong.
Espire 1, we kept thinking, oh, this is a great game, but it just keep getting delayed. I'm sure they're just tweaking some things. It'll be great when it gets here. But when somebody says that it's way better on Quest than it is on PSVR, something's wrong. Because when they launched it, here's what I'm saying about the port. So many integral parts of the gameplay just were botched in the port over to PSVR. Yeah. First of all, the comfort settings on every other platform were not mandatory at launch, and could be switched off. And then you get into stuff where you get the wrong button prompts. It says you can shout at a guy to make him freeze, but you can't.
No, I still can't get that to work, even after all these patches.
It doesn't work well.
It doesn't work. So it's just so disappointing because
it works. It's just a pain in the ass. Sometimes it takes 4 times of saying it.
I mean,
I've heard Ryan.
Much worse.
I've heard Ryan and other PSVR or PC VR guys say that it's actually decent on PC, and
which is
so
weird because
to me we should be able, if the Quest can have a decent version of this, a decent port, why the fuck can't we? We have so much more power than that console. It was botched so badly, and I don't think it'll ever recover from that.
I like Bearded Power 666 comment. He said it should have been called Uninspired One.
Yes.
I actually saw, to be honest with you, I saw where's the Steam reviews? I thought there was a star system on Steam, but it's an
out of 10. It's out of 10.
All the reviews on Steam are mixed. It's not mostly positive. So the only people that I see saying are positive are streamers and stuff. Yeah. And then you go to the comment section, and then all the comments say this game is broken. Even on Quest, I mean, this isn't just the PSVR. You look at the comments on those, and they're commenting about how the person was saying freeze and it wasn't working. So I don't really know. Somebody asked me earlier. They were like, "Why does everybody say this is better on Quest and PC?" I have no idea. I'm not even entirely sure it is, because Quest and PC right now are getting an AI patch. So I don't know if it's rose tinted glasses or what the hell the deal is. But I don't think this game is as good as people are saying it is on other platforms.
Nope. I
personally,
I hate to say I don't trust anybody saying that this is a good game on any platform.
No, I don't trust anybody saying this is good.
I guess, yeah, I kind of agree. Even though there are things that could be fixed, could be better, if they were fixed or were better, the game itself, core gameplay, not that fun, not that exciting, super disappointing. It's a stealth game, and the AI is dumb as a brick. And I mean,
I just don't think the way it's designed. I mean, I even talk about the audio, and I even show you gameplay where the audio, no matter, you can't play it in a stealth way. Remember in the Persistence, you could tell where everything was in the Persistence. You could hear and tell exactly
They
what
have good
room,
sound design.
what floor, where everything is. Everything you hear in Espire 1 is, it always sounds like it's in front of you, right in front of you. There's enemies beyond the loading screen, because there's a shit ton of loading screens as well. And there's enemies beyond a hallway with a door and a loading screen, and the footsteps sound like they're right next to you. How can you have a stealth game where, like, the 3D audio, you can't even tell where things are coming from? It makes no sense to me.
Yeah,
and
just buy the Persistence. Everybody just buy the Persistence. If
buy
you're
the
interested
Persistence,
in
buy
Espire
Blood and
1,
Truth.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've gone on and on and on about Espire 1, not only
Yes,
today, but
true.
in multiple viewer takeovers.
Today.
So if you
We've probably spent like 5 hours talking shit about Espire 1.
yeah, so that's
True.
way more attention than that game deserves. So
I could keep going.
let's not.
Demo. You guys want to talk about Demo real quick?
No, I'm not a big fan. Demo is one of my favorite games of the
I
year.
think you are.
Demo is one of my favorite games of the year. I love what it does in VR. I love what it does in non-VR. This game is beautiful. There's something Nightmare Before Christmas about it. There's something just like anime inspired about it. There's something very relaxing about it. All the puzzles are fun to solve. And anytime you get sick of puzzle solving, you can go to the music rhythm part of the game. Anytime you get sick of the music rhythm part of the game, you can go back and do puzzles. And it's just this beautifully implemented combination of both genres into one really touching game that I basically started playing and didn't stop playing until I beat it. Just an amazing adventure, something I feel like we sorely needed on PlayStation VR. And now that we have it, I feel like it filled that very important hole.
We always complain about the music games on PSVR, the rhythm games just being so electronic focused and stuff like that. But this is a very unique niche that it hits that's way different. It's all piano based, which is, I really like a lot of these songs, and it's way different. It's something very unique as far as what you have for rhythm VR games. And it also has, like you said, that kind of campaign puzzler aspect to it that's really well done. It looks great, in VR or flat screen. And I think this is a great one. It's maybe a little overpriced, but the thing is with these games, this developer came from a mobile background where the game would be free, but then they'd sell you a ton of DLC. And if you bought all the songs, it was like $200. And what they do is when they make it a console game, they give you all the songs for $40. And so, like Voez on Switch is the same thing, where it seems expensive at $40 because it's a simple rhythm game, but there are so damn many things to do in that game, and it's such a satisfying.
It comes
gameplay.
with like 60 or 70 songs to begin with. On top of that, if you buy the season pass, that one is for
$2.
You got cold yogurt? Question mark. $2. Demo
It's not you got. Hey guys, it's not you got. Let me take this one. That will be a $2 donation from You Got Cold Yogurt.
Oh.
Saying Demo Reborn is excellent! Exclamation! Exclamation! Exclamation!
Agreed.
Exclamation! Exclamation!
Sir or madam, agreed. I always assume that people are guys, and so I just need to throw that little caveat in there. Thank you very much for the donation. I agree. Demo Reborn is excellent. The season pass for this game is like $30, so this game can get really expensive. But the season pass is for like 60 songs that are coming out over the course of the next couple of months, which means unlike Beat Saber, unlike Audica, you're getting a ton more songs for a ridiculously cheap price, 50 cents a song. And if you love this piano music, it's like classical, it's J-pop inspired. Like there's all sorts of good stuff here. Then I mean, I bought the DLC, even though I don't need it. I don't need that much more content in Demo, but I was like, man, I want to support this game in any way I possibly can. So I bought the DLC, and I'm very happy that I did. This is amazing. I think everybody needs to check this out.
I don't think everybody will think it's amazing.
No,
but it's really good. If you like rhythm games and if you're into this sort of thing.
Okay.
Because I gotta agree with Dave there, because I like this game, but I don't think it's amazing. But I think it's really good. Like I think if you buy it and take a risk on it, you're not gonna be disappointed. I'm not disappointed. But
yeah, I would say I do take it back. Let's be fair about this. Let's check out my review. See if you like what you hear, and and give it a shot if it does, if it checks any boxes for you.
Now, moving on, I've got another one of my favorite games of the year of 2019. It's time to get excited, people. And that's going to be Ivanovich's second game of this year, Touring Carts motherfucking VR. I really, really love touring carts, not just because I use it with the T150 Pro. Yes, it is more fun with that. Look, you can say what you want about the tracks, about them being F1 tracks instead of not like the Dash Dash World tracks. You can say that all you want. The truth is, it has really good dashing. It has really good gameplay, and it has like a gameplay loop that you can master. It also has these crazy, insane Mario Kart moments where you can be in first and then just get like completely destroyed, or you could be the person that destroys everybody in first and take first. So it's kind of like a random luck of the draw sometimes, and take a couple tries. Tons of upgrades in this game. Not perfect, but I absolutely love this game. Oh, and by the way, it's $20. Actually, it's $16.99 right now. It hasn't even been $20 yet.
Not bad.
Yeah, can't believe it's still on sale. It's like that.
Also got a graphics update.
And the graphics update's awesome, man. Like this game was very, very jaggy, had a lot of shimmering to it, and now it's very sharp. I mean, obviously there's not a ton of texture detail or whatever, but it is. You're not going to care about that stuff when you're flying around the track, taking down your enemies. We played this multiplayer many times, and I mean, pretty much laughing the entire time nonstop. It's so much fun.
Poor Decepticon.
Decepticon's
in the chat
hit with a
too.
banana.
I got hit with a banana the next day. It is intense. They pull no punches here. Like, you get hit with the banana, you spin like crazy, and I love it for that. But some people might not love it.
Oh,
Hit us up, David.
You get out of my
That's gonna be 97 Skynet, the T800 Game Cat. Meow 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 meow.
Meow.
With the Canadian $6.99 says, gotta run. We'll have to catch the rest of the show later. Thanks for all the great content. Keep up the great work. You keep up the great work, 97 Skynet, the T800 Game Cat. Meow, 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 meow. And tell Mrs. Skynet we said hello.
Thank you very much. For
real
the
quick,
donation.
I want to ask you guys. Somebody accused me of having a hitchhiker's thumb recently because it goes like this. Do you guys have that? What's your thumb like?
Yeah, I can't do that.
Okay, so me and AJ have hitchhiker's thumb. You don't have one.
I am double
Because
jointed.
I can go
weird
like
ways, though.
I can do this fucking thing.
I got bass hands.
where you like put this back
A
behind
slap
you
of the bass.
and you like pop the thing up the side. It's kind of weird. Anyways, let's continue.
Moving on.
Yeah,
no,
touring cards, man.
so good.
Absolute. I want to
Yeah,
do a review on that one soon too.
I want to try it again after the patches because I haven't had a chance. I've been out of town.
Right.
And I didn't really get to it.
Yep.
But it is one of the few games that kind of made me sick or have a headache or get nauseous.
We've heard
And
that
I
from a
don't
lot
know-
of people, though. That's
yeah,
not,
and
not
I don't
uncommon.
know what it is. There's this certain je ne sais quoi about a game that like it might make certain people motion sick. I don't know. You guys didn't have that before the patch, so I don't know if you could say after the patch if it's more acceptable to people or not. But I do want to try it myself and see again after this because in multiplayer it is super fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. And we got to get some people in the Discord too. If you guys want to play some touring carts,
Yeah.
can't probably tonight because I got family here. But definitely we'll play soon. Sacrolith. This is actually probably the last game we're going to talk about because there's no more shit games.
Are there any more good games?
I mean, well, there's
I
Art Pulse.
can't believe we didn't talk
Oh, we
about
should talk
Blind
about
Spot.
Oh yeah,
I skipped that on
Blind Spot.
purpose.
You suck.
Brian wants to.
What are we,
yeah,
we're going
yeah,
back.
talk
We're
about
talking
Blind Spot.
Blind Spot.
What are we
Here
talking
go.
about?
Brian,
We're talking about Blind Spot?
What do you got to say?
Talking
What
about
do you
Blind
gotta
Spot.
say?
Here we go.
Tell
Blind
us
Spot.
about Blind Spot.
Dude, Blind Spot's awesome. I love Blind Spot. It's like it's just one big mansion of basically like escape room kind of puzzles. It is it's awesome because AJ hates it, and you always know that if AJ hates
I
something,
don't hate
it's,
this game.
it's probably really good because the stuff he likes is pretty trashy.
That is not true.
no,
not
so-
true. Quit spreading lies.
In fact, like I love the diversity of each room. Every room looks completely different than the last. There's a ton of detail in each room. It is a little blurry, but which they are sending a graphics
little.
patch our way with the Chapter 3 DLC that's supposed to hit any time now. They basically said before Christmas. They missed Christmas. We're really hoping it comes very, very soon. It's been in Sony certification for a while, the last couple weeks, maybe the last month, and we're waiting for it. Now, the thing about this game is that it's overpriced. It's $30, and it should be like $20.
Way overpriced.
It should be $20, I would say, even with the upcoming DLC. It just,
Thank you.
again, feels like a $20 game. But it is beautiful, despite the blurriness and
Graphics patch. If they fix the graphics, it'll help a little though.
yeah, no, absolutely. Because I mean, the detail in each room, there's no copied and pasted textures really. There's a ton of reflections on the floors, and there's rain on the windows, and there's everything just kind of looks good. And the puzzles are, I would say, just difficult enough where you're like you have to stop and think, but then you don't get frustrated. You solve them and you move on. I really enjoy Blind Spot. I think Blind Spot's awesome. Again, needs to be a $20 game when they drop that DLC, but unfortunately that's not going to be the case. Guys?
So have we skipped over Mars Odyssey, or is that still coming? Because Brian, I would like you to talk about Mars Odyssey. People in the chat.
I brought up Mars. No, actually, no, I didn't. I haven't talked about Mars Odyssey.
You talked about Mars Alive,
right? But Mars Odyssey is maybe the worst game of 2019, so we should talk about it after
Yes.
this.
Okay, cool.
What are you guys' thoughts on Blind Spot?
I have not tried it actually.
I actually do like Blind Spot. As much shit as I gave you for, I do think it's actually a pretty good game. I think it's got clever puzzles. I think it has this amazingly beautiful mansion, but you can't really appreciate it right now. Kind of like other games, but yeah, it's a beautiful game, but it's like so blurry right now. So you gotta wait for it to get patched, and I think it's still a 2. I think wait for it to get the patch, wait for it to get the DLC, wait for it to go on sale, and then I think you kind of have to pick it up at that point.
$20 would be a great price for this game with the DLC.
Yes, and the patch, and the movement patch too. My God, you walk around slow.
Yeah, again, I know people complain about the movement speed, but it just like Chair in a Room, you're never going very far. You're always progressing forward.
No.
There's never a reason to backtrack. So you're never walking these huge distances. You're just walking around small rooms.
It's more of a problem in the beginning but see, those small rooms still take 15 minutes to walk across, and that's too long. I'm exaggerating, but yeah, finally we have Sacrolith, which I think we're all pretty big fans of. Dave, I would love to hear Dave's thoughts on this because he did the drunk stream.
I would like to hear this too.
You guys have to watch Dave's drunk stream.
I'll see if I can remember what my thoughts were. I enjoyed it. It's a little strange, of course, because you are not the one in charge of the action. You're defending a guy. So you're out in the shadows shooting arrows at these guys. But there's something to it. I really like it. It's polished. It's well put together. I didn't have any issues with it as far as I can remember. But I don't know. I feel like you guys have played more, so maybe don't let me take this one.
Yeah. AJ?
Yeah, I really like the bow and arrow mechanics in this. It was like a mini tiny Legolas simulator where it's just like, I really liked how it has a challenge and there's strategy to it, to where you are just immediately thrown into protecting your guys, and then you have to move. They immediately start running, and you have to teleport. It has a lot of dated mechanics, but they still work pretty well overall for the game, the current game. And yeah, I mean, if you don't get this game at $20, I know it's a little short. It's like 2 hours long. But if you don't want to get this game at $20, I think you should really get it when it goes on sale, because it's not a huge game, but it's really fun. And it has a lot of style and a lot of attitude and good sense of humor too. And just really good bow mechanics.
The one thing I will throw in, I'm not going to go in depth because, like I said, I think you guys have played a lot more than I did. But at this point in time, you kind of think, okay, a bow and arrow game in VR, like, can you come up with anything more original? Because every developer in the world is like, oh, you got motion controllers?
Right.
Let's make a bow and arrow game in VR. We've seen so many of these things, like not as many as wave shooters, but quite a few bow shooters. And I was coming into it thinking, another one of these fucking things. And I actually enjoyed it. So it kind of rises above that sameness that you see in the genre to be something that's worth picking up.
I think my
I'm glad to hear you say that, Dave. I'm glad to hear you say that, because I figured it was 50-50 shot with you with this one.
I think my big complaint is that for a majority of the game, it does seem like other people are having the fun. Like there's all of your companions that you travel with are right there in the midst of the action, like swinging swords and doing their thing and getting right there into the battle, and they're fucking dumb as dog shit. They like have no, they don't know what self-preservation means. They're just like, I'm gonna run into battle and let people surround me, and I hope that some archer out there is gonna save me. And so it feels like you're watching somebody else play this really intense game, and you're just on the sidelines being like, boom, boom, boom. And you're healing your companions to make sure they don't die. You're leveling up with some very cool level up mechanics. I don't know what to call them, power ups, I guess. You can like raise the dead into zombies and have them fight on your team, and then you can even heal.
Yes.
You can even heal the zombies to keep them around longer. And
That's
so,
my Diablo 3 shit right there, man.
well, so when you can
I
start
love it.
combining some of the cool, so the special arrows together, that's when I feel like this game really hits its stride. But it always feels like you're kind of outside of the action until you're in the midst of the action, and you still don't have a health bar. You're just kind of in the midst of it. You're like, this is really strange now, but it's great. It's great. I mean, if you, again, like AJ said, if you're not picking up for 20, I understand. It's only about 2 hours long. It's meant to be replayed with the different power-ups. So if you can manage to pick it up on sale for like $10, if you're not planning on like replaying it over and over, that seems totally fair.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep. Boy, I just went on a probably a longer rant than I need to about that.
We should make some. We should collaborate and make some that are going out.
Make some what that are going out?
I lost all your audio. Oh yeah.
We need to make an actual short list of this. But yeah.
Anytime we do a 4-hour stream, we should turn it into a video.
Holy crap! I just
Yeah.
saw how long we've been going for. We need to wrap
It's
it up.
3
soon.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I got people here.
Okay.
All right. So what do we got? Mars Odyssey, real quick. Did you talk about how bad it was?
I mean, Mars Odyssey. We can basically cover this really quickly. It's
Like 20 seconds.
right. It is a. It is the shortest game I've ever played in my life. It is $30. It's ridiculously expensive, and there is nothing redeeming about it. Especially as they tried to make it a. It feels like they tried to make it a educational game at the absolute last second, but all they did was just throw up big walls of text with like information that you just don't care about. You're not going to absorb. It is boring, and there's no reason for this game to exist. It's not even a game. It's terrible.
And it has a physical copy, which is fucking bonkers.
In the physical copy, I paid $20 on Amazon like 6 months ago. I pre-ordered it. I just didn't know what it was going to be. It's like, whatever, just it's a PSVR game. I'll buy it $20. And so when I reviewed the game, I reviewed the physical copy. It still wasn't out on the PlayStation Store yet. And I was like, there'll probably be a price discrepancy when the digital version comes out. Never in a million years did I think the price discrepancy was going to be $10 more on the PlayStation Store. I thought it was going to be like maybe $10, but instead it was $30 digitally. It's I don't know what they're thinking over there. I don't know. This is Steel will publish this. I don't know what the fuck is happening. This is not right at all. So it's awful. Just stay far away, very far away. Might be the worst game of the year. Like there's.
I wish I had a gavel to bang right now because I feel like worst game of the year. Dun, 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 guilty as charged.
I mean, do you guys agree with me? I mean, at least like Unborn or Reborn or Samurai Awakens, there was a game there, even if it was awful. There's like nothing here, and it's more it's twice as expensive.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It doesn't make any sense.
So
honestly.
are
I don't
we
know
calling
what
this the worst game of the year then, or what?
I don't know. I
might.
haven't played it, so I don't know.
Oh, okay, that's fair. I'm looking at the rest of the worst games of the year here on my list. Rage Room might be a contender for the worst game of the year because that was also $30. No.
Very expensive. Yeah,
Mars Odyssey wins for me. Mars Odyssey is absolutely the worst game of the year, hands down.
I'm fine with that.
All right, best game of the year.
Blood and Truth.
Blood and Truth, probably. Yeah.
Immortal Legacy it is. Sweet. Guys, that was a great show. That was an amazing show. I'm so glad we just did that. That was really fun.
Blood and Truth, hands down, best game of the year for me.
I'm going to say, I love Blood and Truth. I'm going to say that Golem for me was just so incredible, such a different experience, and I love the quiet, solitary feeling I got. This abandoned city that I got to explore and kind of like search the remnants of, and I think that worked better for me than Blood and Truth.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of taste. I mean, they're both awesome games, and Blood and Truth is more accessible, I guess. Golem is one of those games where you're gonna die, replay the same part you just played, die again, and it takes some work. And for like a hardcore like gameplay oriented kind of thing, that makes it a little bit higher, I guess, than Blood and Truth. But as an experience, as a bombastic kind of awesome PSVR, flagship title. I think Blood and Truth appeals to everybody in a certain way.
Yeah.
That Golem might not. But I can't say it's better or worse. It's just maybe more widely acceptable.
I'd definitely say biggest surprise of the year was
You cut out completely.
Your audio just went away. Yeah.
biggest surprise of the year was Zing: The Land Beyond.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I also really liked Ace Combat 7. I would say Golem as well. And then most disappointing is easily Espire 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, for sure.
Worst game, I'd probably, for me, because I haven't played Mario,
It would be what?
probably Warzone.
Okay. Yeah,
Warzone is fucking terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very fair. I will say Gumball's Game Room in the chat said The Martian versus Mars Odyssey. I went back. If you saw my review of Mars Odyssey, I went back to The Martian and replayed some of it to capture a little bit of footage. And I was like, oh, this game is light years better than Mars Odyssey. I mean, like, I was actually having a little bit of fun with The Martian. They fixed all the tracking issues and stuff, and I was actually having a little bit of fun with it, even though it's not very good.
So you're a big fan of like sorting potatoes and that sort of thing.
Compared to what I was doing in Mars Odyssey, yes.
Yeah,
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you can say that the Martian VR experience is better than some game
anything.
by a mile,
Yeah.
then the game you're comparing it to is like a trash fire.
Yeah.
Because Jesus Christ. Piffaniani's in the chat said, what about that anime game you recently reviewed? And I know we skipped a few of these, but I just want to say pretty much this year, across the board, any game that has an anime VR lady in it is probably not worth buying.
All right.
That would include Project Lux.
Yep.
That would be Tale of the Fragmented Star.
Mm-hmm.
That would be... God, I feel like we got so many of these fucking games this year. Last Labyrinth is
I'm
on
going to
the
finish
fence.
Last Labyrinth.
It's on the fence, but it's not like worth the price, I think.
Yeah.
The one that I believe you said it was Piffaniani's. Was talking about is actually the most recent anime game out there. It's actually a visual novel called Tokyo Chronos. And I have to say, like, Tokyo Chronos got a lot of defenders in the comments. It's because it's unfortunately, it tells a really good story, but it drags it out far too long. And there was a lot of people that said, "Well, this is what visual novels do." And I think that discounts the fact that there are good visual novels that are very interactive and gives the gameplay the player a lot to do and are fun. And then there are really substandard visual novels that make you just read the entire time. And those type of substandard visual novels are not meant for VR. Do not make me sit there with a VR headset on and read for 15 hours straight. Like, there's literally no reason for me to have a headset on. There's no reason for me to even have a controller turned on, because I just put the text to autoplay. This game should not have been in VR. Give it to me on Vita. Give it to me in a book. But this doesn't make any sense to wear a VR headset for. And that was my biggest complaint. There's no interaction. It is a substandard game with a good story that forces you to use VR. So that just, it doesn't, all those things don't meld very well.
And it's like $40, right?
$50, because it's
$50.
It's 40 on
Oof.
Quest. Same game, 40 on Quest, 50 on PlayStation VR. And again, you're reading the whole time. There is no English localization for this, except for the subtitles. It is no voiceovers.
Okay, look, I am definitely out of time. However, I need.
Oh, yeah. No,
I
it's
do
good.
need to make a mention of No Man's Sky, because that did come out as
Oh,
well.
yes,
That
incredible. The best
that wasn't
game.
on the.
He's like, I'm out of time.
Best game of
I'm out of
2019.
time, but we need to introduce the biggest topic of the show.
Best game
Now
of
that I'm out of time.
2019.
It needs that pro patch still to be able to keep playing it. However, it's still fantastic. It's still a must have. You can play it for 150 hours before the blurriness gets to you.
Yeah.
I do hope to see that pro patch, but that's also like I give the edge. I still give the edge to Blood and Truth because it's built from the ground up for VR. And but really big shout out to No Man's Sky, and can't wait to see what that game does in the future. And I will be all over it.
Yeah, I think if we had a bang for your buck category, No Man's Sky would obviously be the best game of 2019. As a polished VR from the ground up experience, Blood and Truth, but you got to have No Man's Sky. It's so fucking good.
Right.
All right, let's let AJ get out of here, man, and go spend some time with his family. Guys, I just want to say thank you very, very much to all the cats.
My other family.
Right. I want to say thank you to all the cats that hung out in the chat and watched this debate talk about like fucking every single game that came out
was
this year.
Much longer
guys
than
are the
I
best,
expected
man.
it to be. I still have barely eaten anything today.
Yeah,
I've
same.
been traveling all day.
I
I'm
told
ready to
Brian.
fucking
I
eat
told
a
Brian
pizza.
I needed a shorter Gamescast.
And then he
today.
starts with January. What are you doing? I couldn't believe you started with January and decided to go through the entire
we were like
year.
in March, and it was like an hour in, and I was like, Jesus Christ, fuck.
Right on. No, but I had a great time talking about all these games with you. It was a nice trip down memory lane, reminding me how great 2019 really was, and just so many reasons to be excited about 2020, which might be the topic of our next show.
Yes.
Right.
So many reasons.
Thank you to all the cats out there who donated. Make sure you change your name to GameCat if you really want to show your support for this channel. Hashtag GameCat in the comments somewhere so we can give you a shout out on next week's viewer takeover. Make sure you hit us up on patreon.com/withoutparole.
Games.
There we go. What just happened? For $1 or more every single month if you like us almost as much as we love you. And I think that's it, guys. AJ, PSVR Underground, make sure you subscribe to him. Make sure you subscribe to Dave over at Dave Station VR. And that is it. Is that it?
All right. Yeah,
That's
well,
it.
we got to have one of those weird stories for the outro or whatever.
All right. Well, then that's fantastic. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, cats. My name's Brian, and we're out. Oops. Oh, no, that ddidn't do it. That wasn't the button.
Okay.
We're still here.
That's not the button. We're still here.
What was the... Wait, where's the button?
A weird story.
Oh, here's
Weird
the button.
story. Somebody.
I found the button.
Lazy.
Who's got a weird story?
Thank you guys.
Oh, I wish I had a weird story.
I told myself. I kind of.
out there. Yeah, your double chicken story, man.
Yeah.
How was the rest of Doom Annihilation?
Oh, so it was awful.
Yeah.
It was really bad, but I still enjoyed watching it because I
Yeah.
really like bad movies.
There's
But Dave,
Something about trash
really,
movies. I love trash movies sometimes.
Yes,
occasionally.
Dave, you really need to go watch the first Doom movie. It's really is a guilty pleasure of mine.
I've thought about it for so long. Like, it's a Doom movie, and it has the fucking Rock in it. Like,
Yes.
that's weird.
Yes,
It's weird enough to warrant a $2.99 Amazon rental or whatever
I saw
the fuck it is.
fist
Yeah.
bump to you, paper wings, the game pad,
Yeah.
Johnny Ripe off the stray cat, hard to get, Delirium, Drew the game cat.
Did he
Rody
just
the
show
Game
up? I
Cat,
haven't seen Drew the whole
SB,
time.
He's been here.
Griffin Yanni's, You Got Cold Yogurt, Chrome Blasphemy, the Game Cat Colossus, Ash VR, Dave Page, Triangulator, Wonder Rob. Where the fuck have you been,
Whoa,
motherfucker?
what's up, Wonder Rob?
Dude, happy Christmas to you, man.
Merry
Gumball's
Xmas, baby.
Game Room,
Happy
Hack the
holiday.
Game Cat, Bike Packing Chronicles with Nature Boy. That needs to be like the Game Cat at the end of that.
It totally does.
Secrets of Johnny No Pockets, aka Who Dat Game Cat, Just Incredible
Who Dat
VR,
Game Cat?
Beard of Power
Who that boy?
666.
Who him is?
Number 333. I think that's everyone. 12 Toad, Tom, Talking Nerdy, Kev Garrett. Thank you guys so much. Love you guys.
That's it.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's it. Bye, everyone.